another World Series run is very much on the table, and maybe you win one. But I think right now the Yankees are in a very good spot. The pitching staff the bullpen itself has kind of turned around. Devin Williams has looked a lot better in the last about month or so, and Aaron Judge is incredible. Thursday night he had 2 at bats, 2 homers. Like he's on a tear. His whole season's been a tear, but when you need him most, he definitely has been. He's been there this season. So.
Yeah, I don't think the Yankees should be worried. I think they'll finish as the top wild card team. As long as they take care of business. They have the Twins, the Orioles twice, and the White Sox. So as long as they can handle business and not lose any of those series, they should be easily the first wild card spot. I think the seeding in the AL for the most part, like the teams and the seeding is locked in. I do think the Astros and the Mariners will swap places, which we'll talk about later. But
it's okay. The Astros aren't going to make the playoffs.
Really?
They suck. They're terrible.
You think the Rangers then are going to take that?
Yes, I do. The Astros.
I am not mad at that.
The Astros might be the worst team in the entire MLB. They might be worse than the Rockies.
Friend of the station and employee of the station, Brendan Shorey, would be very happy with that sentiment.
The Rangers suck too, but the Astros are horrendously bad. But this isn't an Astros segment, so
we talk about the wild card seeding. I believe right now it would be Yankees Red Sox. No,
no, it would be Yankees.
No, I think
it'd be Yankees Astros right now.
Oh yes, I think
there is. I would love though. There is, as a Yankees fan, probably not, because I think that'd be not the matchup you want. But I think the possibility that there could be like a Yankees Red Sox wild card where the winner then plays Toronto.
Wait, no, is that how that works?
No, it would be
the 3 seed would be the Mariners, and so then.
It's 4-5, so it would be Boston Yankees at the season. If the season
ended
today.
It is 4-5.
That's what I thought.
So
if the season ended today, and then the winner would play Toronto.
Yeah.
The winner would play Toronto. That would be a... Listen, I have gone on...
You gotta feel good if you're on the other side
yeah,
of that bracket. You have to avoid all
for
three
real.
of those.
I've gone on record saying that if the Yankees don't make the World Series, I'll do the one chip challenge on air.
Really? If they don't make it to the World Series?
Yeah, I said that.
That's bold.
I said that in like June, and then when the Yankees went on like a generational slump.
Yeah.
That happened like literally that started like the day after I said that. So I jinxed it. However, curious to hear what you guys have to say. I still believe that this Yankees team is the front runner in the American League to make the World Series.
Ooh, I think right now I would take Boston to beat Yankees in the wild card. Unless the Yankees can heat up and that continues into October, I wouldn't be surprised if Boston beats Yankees. But let's just say the Yankees beat Boston. They struggled against Toronto this year.
Oh yeah,
they really struggled.
Yeah, I would have a hard time saying
that's an
be my favorite.
Toronto, I think, is arguably the most underrated team in the playoffs right now.
I think Toronto has an argument with the way they've played over the last probably 3 months. That really since May, that they might be the best team in the entire MLB. They definitely have an argument for that.
No, definitely. I like that take, but I don't think the Yankees make it past the ALDS unless somehow the Tigers and the Blue Jays can swap places. Then I feel a lot more confident the Yankees making the World Series. But
it's just Crochet would be such a tough,
because you're gonna play Crochet in the first game of the
who could do like a full game. Like he has, like if they basically did a full game shutout, except for that Judge home run earlier this summer at Fenway.
If the Yankees can get past Garrett Crochet and win that game, then they can win the wild card. But if they lose that first game is crucial because it's hard to come back from down 1-0 in a 3-game series.
Yeah.
So if they can get past Crochet, then I think they can win the wild card.
Our lovely producer Derek also pointed out how poetic it would be because Aroldis Chapman is their closer.
Oh.
So that's just that would be adding insult to injury. But we talked about this a little bit before the show. Let's just run through their schedule to end the season, because besides this Red Sox series, I'm not really seeing anything that should worry Yankees fans. So finish out this series with the Red Sox, 2 more games left in that. Got a 3-game set against the Twins. They got a 4-game set against the Orioles.
The Orioles have been really hot, and they would love nothing more than to spoil the Yankees season.
I guess. And then they got the White Sox 3-game series.
Yeah,
And then they end the year with another 3-game set against the Orioles. I think the Yankees should win all 4 of these series.
Yeah, there's no excuse to not. They should sweep the Twins. I think they'll split the 2-game or the 4-game set with the Orioles. They should sweep the White Sox, and I think they'll win the last set against the Orioles.
You think they drop any chance they drop one to the White Sox? That's just
There may be that one like stinker game like at the end of the year where you just don't care. So like maybe they'll drop one of those games, but
the thing with baseball is you can't do that. You need to be hot.
Yeah.
It's the team that is hot going into the playoffs will.
I feel like the Yankees always have like that 1 or 2 games in September where they'll just like throw it away, even though they really shouldn't. But
Barrett, do you think Judge can do it this year? Like, because that's a way. I think if Judge can have his like legacy playoff year, that's easily a way that the Yankees can just find themselves in the World Series.
Yeah, I mean, if Judge is, regular season Judge in the postseason, there's really no reason why the Yankees can't finally get back over that hump. But as Bradley mentioned, the Yankees kind of end of September always find a way to make things interesting, and usually that's not a good thing for the Yankees. They got 2 more against the Red Sox here, which I think this will be a big test. I do think they potentially split that series, that 4-game set with the Orioles, just because the Orioles have been hot and the Yankees kind of just love to lose stupid games. But at the end of the day, whether you're the 4 or the 5 seed, it doesn't. I mean, you would obviously much rather that series be in New York than in Boston.
For sure.
yeah,
Which, but with, I think, 15 games left in the season, 3.5 lead or back in the division is potentially doable, but you got to have the Blue Jays to really suck. And you've got a game and a half on the Red Sox, so with that end of the season, even if you drop a couple games to the Orioles or maybe to the Twins, you're still in a good spot. You just can't. I think the White Sox series would be a bad one to lose, especially since that's last week of the season. If you drop any games in that White Sox series, I think you're in a bad spot.
yeah. And I wanted to go back to what you said about playoff Aaron Judge. I just want to put the his postseason stats out there. In 58 games, he's batting .205 with 45 hits, 16 homers, and 34 RBI. So I think the thing that sticks out is that .205 batting average. You really can't be batting .205 as the number 1 guy on your team. I think if Aaron Judge wants to beat the allegations of being Casper the Ghost in October, I think this has to be the year, because obviously.
How did he perform in the postseason last year?
Let me see.
It wasn't as bad as those. He was definitely better.
See, he batted in 14 games last year. Batted 184.
Never mind.
With 9 hits, 3 homers, and 9 RBIs in the 14 games.
I'm having some revision. I felt like he wasn't that bad in the postseason last year, but
He wasn't that bad in the World Series.
That's what it was.
That's what
Yeah.
it was. He was better than Ohtani in the World Series.
yeah,
Yeah.
Ohtani was pretty not great in the World
It was
Series.
kind of like a Freddie Freeman, like Tommy Edman sort of like dominance in the World Series. It wasn't even like a Judge versus Ohtani thing. It was kind of just like
It was a Freddie Freeman
Well, that's
owner. It was a Freddie Freeman ownership, dude.
That's because Freddie's a dog.
But Stanton was nuts, and I still think Stanton will be good.
Yeah, if he can continue the power,
He will be good. Stanton will be good in the playoffs. I have no doubt about that. And weirdly, yeah, the fielding thing is a tough one, but like Volpe, I was talking to Bobby about this actually, like behind the glass when I was producing. I can't remember if it was last week or the week before. Volpe also is a player that turns it up in the playoffs. He has shown that he like.
I'm sorry. If the Yankees had to rely on Anthony Volpe to be a pivotal piece, I think.
I don't think they have to rely.
I think we're
on
talking about an
I don't
all-time
think they-
disappointing.
No, but I don't think they have to
Yankees
rely. But I
postseason.
think that's just something that they have.
he's
Like,
actually
that's-
good. And I'll put the Volpe playoffs. That's in 14 games. He's batting .286 with 14 hits, a homer, and 6 RBIs. That's good in 14 games.
That's great. Yeah,
That is good.
you will take that. Jazz, I'll be curious to see. I think Jazz is one that's like another one of those X factors. Obviously, Judge is still the biggest X factor for sure, but I don't know. I think maybe Yankees fan blindness of just like they're the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? Like, I just find it. I don't know. I think if they don't lose in the wild card, they should make the World Series. Personally, but
You think they beat the Blue Jays then?
Yeah.
On the road,
Yeah.
and then the Tigers on the road.
Yeah. I'm not worried about the Tigers.
I don't know if the Yankees could beat the Blue Jays have been arguably the best team in baseball.
Especially over, I mean, they've outside of the first month was pretty bad for the Blue Jays, but outside of that, they've probably been the best team in baseball. And it's pretty bold to say, like, an expectation that they win. Like, not even like there's a chance they win. Like, you fully expect them.
Well, I wouldn't say I fully expect them to. I just think that I feel more confident than I think most people in that the Yankees will do something. Again, though, I think very reliant on do they make it out of the wild card, which is a big.
So you think it's either they lose the wild card or they win the wild card and make the World Series?
Yeah.
You don't think there's any in between?
That's a lot of.
That is like a really, really big gap.
I honestly weirdly think whoever wins the Yankees Red Sox wild card, if that is the wild card, goes to the World Series.
Goes or wins?
Goes. No.
Okay.
The American.
You scared
Then
me for a
that
second.
I have already in my mind. We can talk about this more when we get to general MLB, but I have already in my mind put the World
National
Series
League,
as
yeah.
a National League. The National League team will win it. I think.
Yeah.
I mean, there's so many good teams in the National
Yeah.
League.
It's like NBA almost, like East versus West.
East West.
Yeah.
So you think the Yankees? I have the Mariners as my favorite in the AL. You think the Yankees could beat the Mariners?
Yeah.
If the Mariners can hit, they are one of the best teams in baseball. But if they're not hitting, they're
they can't.
they're
They
one of the
suck.
worst.
Mariners
It's
suck.
kind of like
the
really,
whole
really
AL
hot-
West is terrible. There's not a single good team in the AL West.
I think they would need I think the Mariners need like one playoff run before they can have confidence in like, as in they need to go to the playoffs and like not be like play in a really high stakes series before.
Everything's a high stakes series.
No, but
in
I'm saying like
playoffs.
no, I know, but I'm saying like further down the line before. I think they'll still get a little. I think there will be some like shakiness if they reach ALCS. I don't know.
So you think maybe next year will be a better year for the Mariners?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
I'm not mad at that.
No, I
think that's fair.
think honestly next year they'll probably, depending on how the offseason goes.
Yeah.
But I think the Mariners could be like pretty big.
If they bring back
favorites.
Geno, of course, that's kind of like the big question.
Yeah.
Will they re-sign Suarez or not? I hope they do. I just like the Mariners vibes for some reason. I don't know.
I mean, Seattle has great vibes. Not
They
biased at all. Not biased at all.
There's no good vibes around
But
the Mariners.
actually, this is like a perfect segue for the last thing I want to talk about in this Yankee segment. Yankees and Mariners. Those are the two teams with the two American League MVP favorites. Cal Raleigh, Aaron Judge. I mean, a quick breakdown of their stat comparisons
I
on the
think
season.
over the last month, Judge has probably run away with
Cal
it.
Raleigh,
Raleigh's not
53
been
home
great.
runs to Judge's 47. Cal Raleigh, 113 RBI to Judge's 101. But the big thing, honestly, is batting average. I mean, Cal Raleigh's hitting 241. Judge is still hitting 323. Cal Raleigh has a 5.9 WAR. Judge has a 7.9. So, I mean, I think in July I would have actually said that Cal Raleigh gets it, but I think Barrett, you're right. If you want to run with that, I think the last month or so has put it in a spot where I think you could comfortably give it to Aaron Judge.
Yeah, it was always going to be a struggle for Cal Raleigh considering he's a catcher. Like your stats are always going to taper off towards the end of the season. A full season being a full-time catcher, it takes a toll on the body, and to expect him to continue to put up, elite top, like best in the league offensive production isn't really viable. Like it just wasn't going to happen.
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of what he would have had to continue playing at that, best hitter in the league stat like level for him to overtake Judge with the season Judge has had, or he would have had to hit, he would have had to break Judge's record. Those are really the only two ways. And I mean, I guess it's still technically possible he gets to what is it, 62?
I don't think he gets.
It's-
I think he can get maybe like 58.
Yeah,
If he-
Yeah,
there's
he's probably
what,
looking at
16 games left, or 15 games left. I mean, he's not going to hit 9 home runs in 15 games.
He's probably looking
He
at
could.
60. I would imagine if you're him, he's like, let me get to 60. Cause
Yeah.
60 would be cool, but again, like I mean, he plays elite defense behind the plate. He is an incredible hitter, but statistically speaking, it's just not there because of his last about month or so, which has been by no means bad. Just hasn't been MVP level.
Yeah. That's
And
very fair.
when the Mariners are now in first place in the AL West, but when you're in a playoff push, you need, like, that's what people remember when they vote for the MVP is what did you do, like, towards the end of the season when, your team needed it to, like, either make the playoffs, win the division, and he hasn't been the MVP when you need the MVP to be the MVP, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think it would be, I think Judge is probably far and away the favorite, and it would be a big shock if he didn't end up winning it.
Yeah, for the entire season, I actually had Cal Raleigh as my MVP, but I feel like up until like about a month ago, I've changed my mind. As much as I love Cal Raleigh, I think obviously Aaron Judge. One of my favorite stats is OPS plus. Aaron Judge is a 205 OPS plus, so he's 105% better than.
This is like his sixth season with an over 200 OPS plus.
It's
insane.
I think if Cal Raleigh can get if he can somehow, let's just say hypothetically, if he gets 60. Then do you give him the MVP?
No,
or
I would struggle.
It has to be 62.
I think he has to break.
Yeah, if he
Judge's
breaks
AL
if he somehow breaks the record, just give him MVP.
Yeah, I mean, it'd be hard. I mean, but the thing is, you mentioned honestly, Judge has been okay. He's just been consistent the last month, but Cal Raleigh's been batting 173, which you can't he's had 8 homers, but you just can't bat 173 like in one of the last months leading up to the MVP. Sort of lockout.
His OPS has dropped from, I think it was like 1,003 to I think just over 900 right now.
It's 927 right
Yeah.
now.
You also had that poetic moment when he missed when the Mariners played the Yankees at Yankee Stadium, and he had that he missed the tag. I forgot on who it was to walk off the game, but he got a good throw in to the plate, and he missed the tag. I think it was on Volpe.
Let me see. I'll do some quick.
I want to say, but that was to me. I was like, kind of ironic that it was.
Yeah, it was Volpe. Aaron Judge.
Yeah. I was like, man, that's so ironic that it's Volpe of all people, and then it's on Cal Raleigh. But I don't know. He's still. That being said, I mean, we all know he's an amazing defensive catcher, like one of the best. As much as I like Cal Raleigh, I don't think he'll do this exact same thing next year. I don't think he's gonna hit.
I don't think it's. I'm gonna be honest. I really don't think it's possible for a catcher to be the best hitter in the league. It just doesn't make sense, especially over the entirety of a season. It's just too much strain on the body. There's too many just physically taxing things to be able to do catch 100, and I think he's caught 130 games this season, and maybe a little bit less than that. But it would take some serious physical management. He'd have to probably DH a lot more, play a lot more first base. It's just really it's impossible for a catcher to be the best hitter in the league because of the physically demanding side of the defense.
Yeah, I mean, he's not going to do that. I'm pretty confident. I would put a lot of money on saying he's not going to repeat. But yeah, Yankees looking to gear up for that October run. See what they can do. Obviously, I feel a little more confident than you guys do. But at least the Yankees have somewhat more of a positive outlook than I think they did if you look at, let's say, this team a month ago. A fan base that cannot really say the same thing is the Mets. Unfortunately, I'm sorry, Bradley. We'll get in to the Mets and Bradley's pain as a Mets fan right after this break.
What's up, everyone? It's Joe Henry, one of your New York Mets beat reporters for the 2025 MLB season. From Soto's slugging to Senga's strikeouts, I'll have you covered from Citi Field all year long. Follow me on X at JoeHenry_4 for exclusive interviews, game day insights, and live coverage of every play. So take a ride on the 7 train with me as the Mets continue their quest for World Series glory. WFUV, your home for New York sports.
Hi, this is Ben Oppenheimer reminding you to tune in to New York's longest-running sports call-in show, One on One. Catch One on One live on the WFUV Sports YouTube channel every Saturday from 11 a.m. to 2 p.m. and then later on 90.7 FM from 11 p.m. to 2 a.m. We'll catch you next Saturday on One on One.
Welcome back to One on One. We're going to jump in, move across the boroughs of Manhattan, as Joe Henry said in that lovely promo, take the 7 train. I believe we would take the 4 down to Grand Central, and then we would take the 7 over to Citi Field, moving from Yankee Stadium. But, man, the Mets lost their last 7 games. Their last win was on September 5th. That was a 5-4 win in Cincinnati against the Reds. I mean, this Mets team has really been up and down all year. I think you're always seeing Mets fans, they're either top of the moon or sell the whole team. They currently sit with a 76 and 72 record. They're that third wild card spot. Behind them is San Francisco. The Mets do hold the tiebreak over San Francisco. However, the Reds are also right behind them at 74 and 73, and they do not hold a tiebreak over the Reds. Bradley, I'll go to you as the Mets fan on this episode. Give me a vibe check, man.
One word to describe the Mets is pathetic. It is absolutely pathetic. In all my years of watching the Mets, I don't think I've ever been more frustrated with the Mets than I am right now on September 13th, 2025 at 11:36:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me read you some of the Mets stats since August 1st. Let me read you some of the Mets stats, and then I'll give you the win-loss record. The Mets actually set a franchise record in August with 177 runs scored. That's the most in franchise history in the month of August. They've scored 53 home runs, which is also the most in franchise history in the month of August. Since August 1st, they're batting .285 with an .866 OPS plus. Now guess what the record is since August 1st? Take a wild guess.
Oh, they've won since August 1st?
Yes, August 1st.
How many games have they played?
They've played 39.
Oh,
14 and 25.
I was gonna say 13 and 24.
Yep, he's right on
14
They're
and 25.
14-25, despite being one of the best offensive teams since August 1st. They've won 14 out of their last 39
Pitching's
games.
been terrible.
It's just pathetic. Like, going into the season, we thought the offense was going to be, if not the best offense in baseball, and they're like Jalen Green. They're just so inconsistent. Like they can score 13 runs one game, and then they'll lose the next 5 in a row, and then they'll walk one off against the Phillies, and then they'll drop 7 games in a row. It's just, I'm worried about the Mets. I'm one of those delusional Mets fans that thinks like they could win the World Series every year. They can go 0-162, and I'll still tell you, next year's their year, they'll win the World Series. But this is like one of the seasons where I'm actually worried for a New York sports team.
Personally, I at the beginning of the year, as a Yankees fan, I thought the Mets. I had the Mets going to the World Series.
Me too, and I still have them making the World Series as the delusional Mets fan that I am. But,
That's crazy.
But I'm worried because let's just say if the Mets and Reds tie, the Mets are going home. The Reds have the tiebreaker over the Mets, so the Mets just need to keep winning games. And I don't know what Steve Cohen and David Stearns need to do this offseason with the pitching. You're worth $22 billion. Maybe sign some good
Whoa.
Steve Cohen is worth $22 billion, and he can't put together a...
Are you complaining about Steve Cohen's spending right now as a Mets fan?
That's absurd.
A little. Well, with the pitching, yes, I am. Obviously, with the offense, it's all there, the spending, but you're worth $22 billion. You can't sign some, reliable starters?
Okay, do you wish then that the $700 million you
to
gave
be fair,
to one...
also the last time he tried to go sign starters, they were both gone by
I don't like
by
that.
July.
and they didn't like, and also they didn't like each other. But would you rather the $700 million that was spent on Juan Soto have been invested elsewhere? Then?
First off, this that 765 doesn't really matter. Steve Cohen, he could basically print that money tomorrow, and Soto's only making $52 million a year if you put it into perspective. LeBron's making only $3 million less than that this year at 40. So I don't know why people are so like crazy about the.
I mean, it's the biggest contract in sports history,
but obviously 15 years 765 sounds a lot. But when you break it down, it's only like 52.7 AAV. LeBron is at like 51 or something. So
I like how you keep saying only. Like that's
because I feel like now with salary. Well, obviously baseball has salary cap. With like as sports advance, salaries are gonna start to increase. Especially like we're seeing that with basketball. SGA can make $800 million in 4 years after his extension's up. So
I mean, yeah, but baseball barely has salary cap. I mean, it's literally the Cohen tax, and he just pays it.
But yes, obviously 765 is a lot, but I know Steve Cohen still has more money somewhere. You can pay a good starter. Like Sean Manaea should not be on the team next year. I still think Kodai Senga should have been traded. I don't think the Frankie Montas signing was good at all. Ryan Helsley has almost a 10 ERA since joining the Mets at the trade deadline.
I mean, it's not really his fault. He tried.
No, but you have one job. Go out there for one. Sometimes not even an inning.
No, I'm not. It's Helsley's fault that he sucks. I'm saying it's not. It's not on Cohen that Helsley sucks.
No, I know, but it's also on Cohen and Stearns to not put together a reliable.
Oh, I mean, he gave them. They
Mets. Went out and got 6 pitchers at the deadline. It's not.
He gave the Mets a team, bro.
It's the starting pitching that I'm worried about. The bullpen will come around.
I think Senga sucks.
I hate to say it because I really, really love Kodai Senga, but it's just, I don't know. His ghost fork's one of the nastiest pitches in baseball, but it's just he has struggled. There'll be some starts where he'll go 6 scoreless, and then the very next start he'll give up 4 runs in the first inning. So I just think the Mets bullpen is fine. I just think the starting pitching needs a little bit of revamping. Obviously, they called up Brandon Sproat, Jonah Tong, and Noah McLean, who will probably be the 1, 2, 3 guys for the wild card.
That's not a good sign. Not because they're bad, just because they're rookies. We talked about this last week a little bit, but I think it's if you're relying on rookies as all 3 of your pitchers in a playoff postseason series, there's a bit of an issue with that. You'd like to see some experience. I think David Peterson probably starts one of those games. It's just
it's not Tong's. It's not Jonah Tong's fault.
He was just playing Double-A 2.5 weeks ago.
He should be in Triple-A still. It's kind of hard on him to put him out there and be all right, dude, go out there. And
I think McLean and Sproat are ready because they've had some
McLean will probably start game 1. I would say David Peterson starts game 2, and then it's between Tong or Sproat on who starts game 3.
I would personally send Tong down for the remainder of the season, and if he performs well, then call him back up for the playoffs. But if not, I would leave him there because Jonah Tong, I think he's played 3 AAA games. I think 3. He spent most of the year in Double-A and then got called up to AAA for a few games, and then David Stearns called him up again to pitch against the Marlins. Well, obviously, the Mets dropped 19 runs on the Marlins, so that wasn't really a struggle. But we've kind of seen Jonah Tong now struggle the past 2 starts, and as much as I love Jonah Tong, I'm a huge AAA Mets Syracuse guy, but I just don't think he's ready. Let's just put it simple. I think he needs a few more starts in AAA, let him get some of his confidence back. And if he's ready, call him up for the playoffs. I wouldn't mind seeing Jonah Tong in the playoffs, but if he's not ready, and he probably knows that he is not 100% ready, I wouldn't throw him if the season ends right now, the Mets are going to be playing the Dodgers in Dodger Stadium. And throwing Jonah Tong into the wildfire of pitching against the Dodgers, he may get blown up in the first 4 innings. The Dodgers may drop 7 runs on him in the first 4 innings, and then you're kind of scrambling using the bullpen early.
Yeah.
So it's just I think Jonah Tong should be sent back down.
Yeah. Does it hurt more that it was to DeGrom?
Yes and no. I love DeGrom. I don't know why people don't like him for the most part. I love DeGrom, but I'm trying to think because it's a little bit of yes. Obviously I want the Mets to win, but at the same time seeing DeGrom succeed also makes me really, really happy as a DeGrom fan. So I guess a little bit of both. I want the Mets to win every game they play. But at the same time, if it's against Jacob deGrom, I could make it one exception for yesterday.
Yeah, okay. I see what you're saying.
It's a bit of both.
I mean, like
The Mets are just they're probably the most complicated team in baseball.
they are, and it's in some of the most dedicated fans, if not the most dedicated fans in baseball. Like, I feel for the Mets fans a little bit, but like not really, because I think it's like hilarious.
I think it's really funny when the Mets are bad. Because
Yeah.
Mets fans are unlike any team in the league in that they just
Well, I would dare,
whatever's happening is going to be happening to them forever. If
I feel
they're
like-
losing a lot, they'll never win again.
I feel like
If
Mets
they're
and
winning
Knicks
a lot, they're
fan-
the best team in the world.
yeah, well, losing a lot. They play the Padres next. Like
They have a rough go of it. They play the
Yeah.
Padres, they play the Cubs.
they got Nationals, which are fine.
They do have, but they got the Padres, the Cubs.
I think they
Padres
win the
again,
Cubs
or-
series because Kyle Tucker's on. The Cubs have been ice cold.
Well, Pico
since-
Armstrong is a fraud.
They also have the Marlins, who have.
I am still I'm still butthurt about that trade, but every time I see Pico Armstrong play well, I'm just think, dang, we really could have had Brandon Nimmo, Pico Armstrong, Juan Soto in the outfield.
Yeah, but Pico Armstrong's a fraud.
The
dude.
thing about Pico Armstrong is he's never been like a good hitter. That's always like he's never been a good hitter. So the way he started out this season was just unsustainable. He is the best defender in baseball by kind of a large margin, other than
Yeah.
maybe Ceddanne Rafaela, which
Yeah.
I kind of
criminally underrated Ceddanne Rafael.
yeah. Well, he also can't hit, but
I mean,
his defense makes up. He's kind of like a Harrison Bader. Like the offense last year was garbage, but he's like one of the best defensive center fielders in the league.
okay, so Senga, right now, like, he's had 8 Ks in his AAA rehab start yesterday. He's coming back. You mentioned that you're not insanely confident in him, like, but I mean, you think obviously as a Mets fan you're going to be a little more on the bias side, but do you think there's a shot they do something against like a team like the Dodgers if they got to play them or no?
I think the Mets at the peak of their powers, yes. If we're talking about right this second, they probably go home Game 3. As much as I want to say, I think they'll.
But you're giving them a win though.
I'll give them maybe like the second game where they like it's like
Yeah.
it's like a 2-1 win, and then I just think like the Mets will find a way to get walked off in Game 3 to. I think that would be the most Mets way to get sent home is to get walked off. Walked off in Game 3 would be if that actually happens. Please, Kurt, clip this and put it on the TikTok because if that actually happens, that's got to be like the craziest jinx. That would be the most Mets way to go out sad is to get. It'll be a Freddie Freeman walk-off grand slam to send them home.
Oh, don't even get me started on that. But no, yeah, this team is
Confusing.
it's such a confusing team. Man. I mean, they're like are they the worst good team or are they the best bad team?
I think they're like
they're
the
the best
worst.
bad team.
I'd say they're like
I think
the worst good team.
Yeah, I think
because
that-
like on paper, this team's supposed to be really, really good, but they don't perform like it. So it's like you're a good team, but like you kind of suck,
Yeah, I mean, but it's like, dude, they lead like they're top 10 in basically every single batting stat, and if not, they're like top 15. But
that doesn't produce to like on like they're
no, yeah,
like they're 10th in runs, 7th in OPS, they're 14th in average, 9th in total bases, 7th in home runs. But when you watch the games like you did yesterday, you wouldn't see that. Because yes, the Mets offense is good, but other offenses are performing even better. And the Mets just need to get on that level if they want to even have a remote chance. Right now, I'm saying the Mets are probably going home in the wild card right now. Unless they can somehow turn it up. The last 15 games, I just don't see them making it past the wild card. And I saw the statistic actually on SNY the other day on the Mets game. Brandon Nimmo, Juan Soto, Francisco Lindor, Pete Alonso, their career stats over a 2-month span is the best in September and October. And
Yeah.
over their entire careers. And we haven't seen that. And it's just, the Mets are like the Knicks.
it would be a shame not to see it. That's the thing. Like
It would be a shame. But when you said, Barrett, like, Mets and Knicks fans are like the exact same. Like, they can win
Well,
two.
they are the same people usually.
Yeah, but like the way they behave also is
Yeah.
just like they can win 2 games in a row and they're like, oh my gosh, we're going back to back, we're winning it all, and then they'll lose a game by like 5 runs, and it's like, ugh, it's over. Sell the team.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. The Mets are just I think they're the most confusing team, arguably in all of sports. They're just like they can look like they're World Series contender, then look like they're worse than the Rockies for a stretch.
Okay, so what's the way out then for the Mets team?
Spend more.
I guess
Keep digging.
Spend more.
I guess
Keep digging. Every team is just spending more money away.
you know what they say, money solves problems. I guess Steve Cohen prints money. Let that, spend more money, solve your problems.
Yeah, but maybe Mets fans are like a perfect example of money can't buy happiness. You know what I'm saying? Like,
as much as I hate to admit that, I feel like you're right. I think the Mets have the largest payroll in baseball, and that's not.
And they're never happy. Their fans are never happy.
They went 89-73 last year. If they want to tie what they were last year, they have to basically win the next 13 games.
They were only 89-win team last year. I forgot they barely made it.
Yeah. I think that team was more fun to watch than this year's
No, but God,
team.
Mets really do just have the most insane highs and lows you've ever seen. Like,
I know.
Barely almost crashed out of the playoff picture last year. Make the playoffs.
No,
Go to the NLC debate
It's like last year's team had something that I just don't see in this year's
Grimace.
team.
They had Grimace, but last year's team probably encapsulates the Mets so perfectly because they were so bad to start the season. Then they got so hot in summer over with Grimace and all of that. And then they were so bad in August, and then they were really good for like half of September, and then almost crashed out, and then
really good for a while.
Really good in the postseason. It's like
then you just don't get it done.
Exactly. They're so streaky. There's a reason their fans are the way they are. It's because when they win, they always win. Then when they lose, they're always losing. It's
like the sky is falling or we're touching the sky. Are there any Mets fans right now that are positive about that are happy? Like, are there Mets fans that are like,
No.
guys, come on, like, there's a way?
I'm that in my entire friend group back home a lot. I'm that one Mets fan. It's like, come on, guys, don't worry. We can still make the World Series. Like, we can still make it to the NLCS. But like, even I'm just like, I just don't know. Like, last year's team was like, I think last year's team was more fun to watch than this year's team, and this year's team is supposed to be 1,000 times better than last year's team.
Yeah,
it's just
I don't know.
Last year's team
I think
had
these
fight.
young pitchers, you got to have some confidence. I like these young pitchers a lot.
Me too.
So maybe not this season.
That's kind of
but
like
we're
the one
already
thing
looking
that's
to
keeping
next
me happy.
season, I guess.
The one thing that's keeping me happy is seeing Juan Soto play and the young pitchers. That's basically all there's been much to talk about over the last 2.5 weeks. The Mets are just really confusing right now. I can't even put it into words. The New York Mets are just the New York Mets, They'll just do Mets things.
yeah. Mets will be Mets. That's like a saying that I think you could.
That encapsulates the Mets'
Yeah, you
2025
can-
season.
The Mets will be the Mets. You can like etch that into the side of Citi Field. Mets will be Mets. Like, it's not the 80s anymore. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want a Subway Series so bad, like World Series, Subway
not
Series,
happening.
World Series so
It's
bad.
not happening.
And
Should
beginning
have happened last year.
No,
I still
yeah, but
believe
this
that.
year was the year, like beginning of the year. Like, if Garrett Cole doesn't go down with his injury, Yankees are easily in the World Series, in my opinion. The Yankees are in a way different spot.
Yeah, that Cole Fried Rodon at the top.
Yeah,
would be
for sure.
That is
so-
nasty.
And then we're like if that's the state of New York baseball.
A bunch of Justin Herberts.
Yeah, seriously. Although we'll talk about this later, but maybe Justin Herbert,
If man,
maybe he's on track to not be the if man. I think that quite about covers it for the Mets. As we said, Mets will be Mets. Yankees, will they be Yankees? Because they haven't really been the Yankees in the past decades. But maybe this year is the year they can be the Yankees. Right after this quick break, we will be talking about some more general MLB. We'll look around the league, look at more exciting teams, honestly, that have a little bit more to be excited about, break down the playoff picture. We'll have you covered with all that and more right after this.
It's WFUV New York, fostering community with public media from Fordham University, on air, online, and always commercial-free.
Hey sports fans, it's Bobby C. I'm the sports director here at WFUV. From live broadcasts of Fordham Athletics to coverage of all the professional sports teams in the NYC, we've got everything a sports fan could ask for. Like talking sports? Check out One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show, as well as our diverse collection of podcasts. If you're a Fordham student interested in joining our program, feel free to shoot me an email, bobbyc@wfuv.org. And as always, thank you to all of our listeners who support us every week. 90.7 FM is the home of WFUV Sports.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
Welcome back into One on One, New York's longest-running sports call-in show. A little run through if anyone's just joining us. I'm Griffin Stevenson, joined by Barrett, Spritzer, and Bradley Birne. We are going to talk a little bit now about the general MLB scene. So first, let's start with the playoff picture. So in the American League, you have the Blue Jays and the Tigers with those two byes. Then you have the Astros, Mariners. You also, although actually no, and then you have the Astros, Mariners, Yankees, and Red Sox in that playoff picture. I know Barrett will have something to say about the Houston Astros. In the National League, you have the Brewers and Phillies kind of run away with it at the top. The Dodgers, Cubs, Padres, and Mets looking like for those wildcard games. Although we just mentioned this in our last segment, Mets might not be there come October with the Giants and the Reds hot on their tails. But Barrett, why don't you start with this Astros team? They're 80 and 68. They're tied with the Mariners right now in that wildcard spot. You mentioned before that you don't think they're going to make the playoffs.
I mean, they've had probably the worst injury luck you could possibly have. I think basically every single person on the roster, except for Cam Smith and Christian Walker, have spent time on the IL at some point or have missed games to injury. Yainer Diaz, I think, missed 7 or 8 games. Altuve's missed like 20 games, or I don't know, he's missed a couple games, maybe like 5. Yordan Alvarez missed a lot of games. Jake Myers has been out since July. He just came back earlier this week. The pitching staff, every single pitcher has gotten hurt at one point or another, except for Hunter Brown. Framber Valdez has been pretty dreadful the last about 2 to 3 weeks. There's just not a whole lot. This team on paper should be really good. This team has played well, but the injuries have been dreadful. The bullpen has been pretty poor. Brian Abreu has not been able to get outs in the closer role. He's probably the most electric, best setup man in the league, but as soon as he pitches in the 9th inning, he forgets how to pitch and decides to give up 3-run home runs constantly. Outside of Hunter Brown and Framber Valdez, the Astros have had like 9 guys start games for them this season. They've got Zach Cole, who I don't even know who that is, getting at-bats in September in left field. Shout out to him, though. He did go yard and went on the first pitch he saw in the MLB and then went 3 for 4 last night. So shout out to him, but I don't even know who that guy is. And we've got him playing. We're picking dudes up off waivers. We got Craig Kimbrell is on the team right now. he's like 75 years old pitching for us because we've had the Astros have had so many injuries. They've gone. They've been dreadful over the last about probably month. It seems like they can never win. The Mariners have been super hot. The Rangers have been super hot, and the Astros have been anything but. And if you finish third in the AL West, you're not making the postseason. That's all there is to say about it. This team, again, I think on paper, at full health, is arguably the best team in the AL, fully healthy, but they haven't been anything close to fully healthy this year. If they make it into the postseason, I guess there's some hope, but right now, I just don't see it. They've dropped game after game. They had a good game against. It's a hard watch, and there aren't many teams that are hard watches that are successful, and so maybe a little bit of me is just the fan in me being a downer, but I just don't see how where it goes from here because they gave up. They had like a 7 or 8 game lead in the division about a month ago, and now they lost it. And it. Oh yeah, they're just. The skid doesn't look like it's stopping anytime soon.
And unfortunately, in baseball, once you like start the skid, especially this time of the year, like talk about with the Mets, it kind of seems like you just keep sliding. You just keep sliding. I mean. It is tough. I do just the American League. Looking at it though, it's like
It's just like, ugh. It's just a bunch of like.
You know what? That means the Rangers then get in. Like
I think the Rangers could be. If
the Rangers can put something together on offense, they're scary because that pitching staff is elite.
And especially like they're just like yesterday, I saw they would just like throw random guys in, and they're just getting hits. Like the Texas Rangers are basically like the Milwaukee Brewers of like the AL. Like no matter how many players get injured, they'll throw some random player into like a position, and then they'll just like keep winning games. It just obviously the Brewers are 1,000 times better than the Rangers, but I agree with you there. I think it's going to be Seattle wins a division. I think the Texas Rangers go on a little bit of a tear to end the season. I think they take that last wild card spot, and I think Houston falls out of it. I'm with you on that.
yeah. Moving on to the National League. We talked about this before. I really like the Padres.
Me too.
The Padres
They're my
are,
World Series pick right now. If I had to choose one, I'd probably pick the Padres. As much as I want to pick the Mariners, I just think I don't trust them to continue to hit. If they make the World Series, like I feel like they kind of hit a little bit of consistency problem.
I mean, they don't hit the ball that well, at all, but their pitching is great.
No, if the Mariners can, if they can hit the ball really, really well, then they can dominate. But I just don't see them maintaining consistency of hitting the ball well.
Well, I was saying the Padres also don't hit the ball that well, all things considered. Like
I think the Padres have always tried to put together a contender team, and I think this is finally the year that Mike Shildt and the Padres get the job done. And I think they beat the Cubs. They beat the Cubs 2-0. I don't think the Cubs won the game. I think they'll beat the Brewers in 5. I think, I think the Padres beat. I have the Mets in the. Let's just say Mets NLCS. Well, regardless, whoever makes the NLCS on the other side of the bracket, I don't think they'll beat the Padres. I think it's Padres Mariners World Series, and I'd say Padres in.
Oh, that'd be great.
Give me Padres in 6.
I would love a West Coast World Series.
Honestly, me too. 'Cause I feel like the vibes of like a West Coast World Series would just be like unmatched.
Yeah. Also, those two teams would have like a fun time. That fan base, I feel like.
It's just like two fun teams to watch, just like going at in the World Series.
Yeah, some baseball purists would be very upset about a West Coast World Series. I feel like.
Well, they can
Not baseball purists, scumbag East Coast guys.
Yeah, East Coast guys would be really upset. Like, I don't know why. Like, it would be
because East Coast guys are only care about the East Coast. They want everything to be tailored towards their time. Like, the thing is, everything would be tailored toward the East Coast anyways, because games would start at like 4:00 on the West Coast, which would kind of suck. Because they're not going to start a World Series game at 10 Eastern. It's just not going to happen.
No, they could start one at 8 though.
Yeah.
5.
But that's 5 o'clock. 5 o'clock local time World Series
just-
game just doesn't seem right.
That's just weird. I mean,
Like people are still in work. Like
Yeah.
maybe like 6:30, like a weird like.
I know
9:30?
that's what they usually. I think they usually start them at like 5 o'clock
Yeah.
local time.
You just can't have a World Series game starting at 5 o'clock.
That's what
on the
they've been
West
doing. But like
Coast.
every World Series game starting at 5 o'clock is just sacrilege. But
Sacrilege.
everything's got to be tailored toward the East Coast. So
Yeah, true. Yeah, this. I mean, I think the league, like, as a whole, we talk about this. I mean, the Cubs are good as well.
Even ice cold though. Like,
Yeah.
Since the All-Star break, especially with that whole Kyle Tucker drama and like, they were better when he was sitting than when he was actually playing. And obviously PCA also can't hit, which I like to see because I'm still butthurt about the 2 months of Javier
Yeah.
Baez and the failed experiment for. And the PCA at the time was a struggling like AA prospect who wasn't really that good. And I don't know what the Cubs saw in him to want him, but I guess you could say it turned out better for the Cubs than it did
Okay,
for the Mets.
let's talk though about the best team in the National League.
It's the Padres, in my opinion.
No, well, the
It's the Phillies.
best team in the National League when it comes to standings.
it is. The
Oh,
Brewers.
standings, yes.
And-
But
standings,
the Brewers are always.
And
The
that's the
Brewers do the
Brewers.
same thing
But
every
they
year.
are they're on like a tear. Like I don't understand.
This is not lasting.
I mean, they're the last 10 they're 5-5. The Phillies are 8-2 in their last 10. But as a whole in the back half of the season, the Brewers have been insane. However,
The
we're talking
Brewers
about
do the
this.
same thing every year.
Yeah, the
They're
Brewers
so
are-
great in the regular season, and then they don't know how to play baseball in the postseason. And I think at the end of the day, they just don't have maybe that star power that you need to win the World Series. They have every single person who has stepped on the field for them this year has played out of their mind. But
it's not lasting.
I just the Brewers are going to be the Brewers. I don't know if I don't know. I just don't see it with the Brewers.
Would it be crazy to say that I think the Padres would sweep the
Yes,
Brewers in the
that is crazy.
NLDS?
Oh, I don't know if they.
I don't know what I don't know
if
where this
they'd
Padre
sweep.
love is coming from. You two, like
No, because it's just like I don't think the Mets are going to make the World Series. Let's just get that out of the way.
I don't think the Mets are. I think
The
the
Phillies-
I
the
think
Phillies are gonna
be-
choke.
I don't know. I really like this Phillies team. I think it's a very good Phillies team.
No, you just can't have a bunch of 34-year-olds as your core.
You definitely can.
Well, we saw what happened last. I think the Dodgers are going to beat the Phillies in the NLDS, and then NLCS will be Padres Dodgers, and I think the Padres finally beat the Dodgers in the playoffs because the Cubs have been ice cold. I don't trust them anymore. The Brewers will choke. The Phillies will choke. The Mets sadly won't make it.
Dude, I'm like sitting
I
here.
just don't see the. Padres
And I'm a
love.
Padres.
I don't
like the
understand
Padres, and I'm
love.
telling you from
Yeah.
a Mets fan perspective.
I really I just don't see I just don't see it with the Padres.
I'm sitting here
I
getting
think
like
they're okay.
I'm sitting here getting hungry thinking about the food that would be cooked out of Padres, Dodgers, NLCS, man. Like actually,
I want to see it too. As much as I don't like either team, I think it'd be fun to watch. Like Mets bias aside, like you want the two best teams in the NLCS, and I think the two best teams in the NL standings aside are the Dodgers and the Padres, just from like an on paper like perspective. Like,
I disagree. I don't think.
who's your NLCS like matchup then?
I think it's gonna be the Phillies and the Dodgers. I think the Phillies are the best team. I think the Dodgers have the most talent, obviously, but I really do not see it with this Padres team. I think they're a good team. I think they're a fine team. I just don't think they're a World Series.
Well, you said
caliber
Phillies
team.
Dodgers.
Yeah.
Well, it's the season today. The Dodgers and Phillies will play the NLDS. So unless the Phillies can swap places with the Brewers,
Yeah, I mean,
I think it's possible. I think if the Phillies continue their 8-2 over the last
Yeah.
10 game run, I think it's possible. Honestly, I'd rather face the Brewers in the playoffs than the Phillies if I'm the Mets right now.
yeah, for sure. I think any team would rather face the Brewers though, because they just reek of a first round exit like all the time. It sucks for them, but
Especially last year too with the
sure, like even they know. But that's something that that is genuinely something though that like as a team you have to worry about, because that's something that like weighs on you. Like if you know you're expected to lose in the first round, no matter how good of a season you have, like that's either gonna be a chip on their shoulder that they're gonna play better, or, in my opinion, something that they're gonna like probably let get into the back of their mind and they're gonna lose. I think, but I don't know. It
Who's your
really is
NLCS
up in the.
matchup?
It really is up in the air. I will agree with Bradley that I do like the Padres. off of like purely vibes. Honestly, I mean, they have the star power.
I don't get the vibes. I don't see the vibes. I don't understand where the
Especially
vibes are
with
coming from.
Especially with the trade deadline the Padres had with Ramon Laureano, Ryan O'Hearn. They sent the house away for everyone they got the trade. They sent away Leobardo DeVries, who is arguably one of the best prospects in baseball, to kind of get everyone they got back. With Ramon Laureano has been one of the hottest hitters in baseball recently, and obviously Mason Miller. Obviously J.P. Sears has struggled, but Mason Miller, he's good. Mason Miller when he's at his peak. I don't know. It's just something about the Padres the past like 2 weeks that just like sparked something in me that thinks that they can maybe not win the World Series, but I think they could definitely make the World Series.
The only thing about the Padres, Tatis, bro, you got to stop striking out, man. He had 4 strikeouts last night. Like you gotta. I mean, they got a good like Machado. I love Manny Machado. Like seriously, and Tatis can be amazing, and he does turn it on against the Dodgers. I do think he'll do well in the playoffs, but you got to stop striking out. Like that'll, especially in these like high leverage games in the playoffs, you cannot do that. Like just straight up, or else a dialogue will get started.
Unless and then you become Aaron Judge.
Yeah, seriously. I think before, like, last part of this segment, speaking of strikeouts, we can talk about who I think is the best pitcher in baseball. And a team that we haven't mentioned, the Tigers.
Tarek Skubal.
Yeah. However, what do we think? Because personally, for me, they're a Skubal team, but you can't bring Skubal out there every night.
They're very similar to the Brewers in that I just don't know if the top end talent is necessarily there. Like Glaber's had a great season. Skubal's the best pitcher in baseball. But as you said, Skubal can't pitch every night. They have guys behind him. Obviously they've been very good. AJ Hinch is a very good manager.
Yeah.
But I just have some questions. It's just I don't, and maybe they'll be answered, but I think this is a very similar team to the Brewers.
I think we're overrating the Tigers a tiny, tiny bit. I think we're slightly overrating them. I don't see what people see the Tigers. I'm shocked that the Tigers are even first in the AL Central, to be quite honest. I thought it was going to be the
the Tigers are a good team.
They're a good team, but I think we're overrating them a little bit too much heading into October.
Yeah, I mean, it's the like.
Unless Tarek Skubal was pitching 4 innings a game as a reliever, then you could technically bring him out there for 2, maybe even 3 games. But
I don't know. I think the Tigers are a better team than. I like the Tigers in a postseason series, like a wild card series.
I don't
happen over the Yankees.
Oh, I would take the Yankees over the Tigers if they played in the wild card. I think I would take any AL team.
I think Fried could do enough against. I think Fried could do enough in a matchup against Skubal, where the Yankees, the Yankees can score. Like that's the thing is that it's like, and I know Skubal can be insane, but like I think Fried would be able to kind of go toe to toe.
I think any team 1 through 6 right now could beat the Tigers except the Houston Astros. I think the Blue Jays could beat them in the series. I think the Yankees could beat them in the series. The Red Sox could beat them in the series. I think the Mariners could beat them
in a series for sure. I just don't see how they.
I don't see the Tigers winning.
If the playoffs was a 1-game set every time,
then
the Tigers would be World Series favorites, honestly. But
exactly.
That's unfortunately not how the playoffs are played. But I mean, they have good team. Like I think more so than a lot of teams, especially in the American League, like team vibes are good. Like they have there's
the vibes are high and they should be high in Detroit right now, especially where they are.
Yeah. You also I don't know. I think they know that people aren't expecting much out of them, and that's almost a better place to be, especially in baseball, I feel like, compared to other sports where you kind of want to be in the position maybe where you don't have to deal with the weight of your fan base completely on your shoulders or the weight of league expectations. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I agree with that. That's fair.
Yeah, I don't know. I like this Tigers team probably at least more than the two of you do. I think it's a talent. I don't think enough can be said about the value of having an elite pitcher especially in a short series, 3 or 5. having an elite pitcher that's able to pitch in 2 games of a 5-game series, like Tarek Skubal would be able to, is so valuable, because you can almost just about pencil in 2 wins right there. So if you can get to a Game 5 and you know you have Skubal pitching Game 5, you're so much more confident. And I like Skubal over Fried. I like Skubal over Rodon. I like Skubal over basically every pitcher in the AL other than Crochet, which I think could be neck and neck. But I think Skubal's better.
Yeah, I think Skubal is better.
The only one I don't like him more than is Hunter Brown, and that's just because Hunter Brown's a certified dog.
Certified dog.
Certified dog.
Certified? Like he's got the Barrett Spritzer certification?
He does. Stamp him. He's stamped.
Stamped him as a dog. Okay. Should we? Okay. We kind of did this, but everyone just give their World Series prediction right now, way too early before we end the segment. I'm gonna go Padres, Yankees. Padres win.
I'll go Mariners, Padres. I'll go Padres in 7.
I'm gonna have to put a caveat here. I think it'll be Red Sox, Phillies, but if the Astros make the playoffs, I think it'll be Astros, Phillies.
Wow, Red Sox will. Wow,
I agree. I
That is
think
so
if it's not,
based.
I think if it's not the Yankees, it will be the Red Sox.
That is so based.
Yeah, Yeah, I mean seriously, I don't know the Red Sox.
But I just want to say, if the Astros are in the postseason and the Astros are somewhat healthy, because the lineup is finally healthy, fully healthy, I like the Astros a lot if they make it.
Okay.
But I don't think they're going to make it.
All right.
They
I
have the
don't think
experience.
so.
They have the postseason experience. If the Astros
I like
make
that.
it.
I like that.
But I don't think the Astros make the
Yeah.
postseason.
Wait, you said Phillies winning it all, or
Phillies, Red Sox, I think
God, that'd be horrible. That'd be horrible.
just
as a
the
Yankee.
That
two
would be like
worst
the-
fan bases
that would just be
possible.
like New York's like nightmare.
Yeah.
But I think the Phillies probably would do it in that World Series matchup.
Yeah. All right, that'll wrap up our MLB talk. We got through local, went around the league, but we'll move from a league that's going into the postseason soon to one that's just getting started. That is the NFL. We will talk about the general NFL, but first, we got to break down the local teams, Jets and Giants. We will start with the Jets right after this quick break.
What's up, everyone? I'm Brendan Shorey.
And I'm Joe Henry, your 2025 New York Jets beat reporters.
Follow along with us every Sunday as we cover and analyze all things JETS.
With a new quarterback at the helm, can Aaron Glenn right the ship and cause chaos in the AFC East?
Stay updated every week with game updates and recaps from @Brendan_Shorey
And at JoeHenry_4 on X.
WFUV, your home for Jets football.
Welcome back in to One-on-One, New York's longest running sports call-in show. We're going to start our NFL talk here with the New York Jets. But first, NFL season starting. I know all you guys out there got a lot of hot takes. We certainly do. Feel free to share those hot takes. You can call in. The number is 718-817-2750. That's 718-817-2750. Feel free to give us a ring. Moving on to the New York Jets. Wow, oh wow, was that a week one for the New York Jets. Unfortunately, fall at home to the Steelers. Final score 34-32. Good homecoming for Aaron Rodgers, but I'm going to go out on – I'm going to say it. Steelers didn't win this one. The Jets lost. The Jets lost this one. The Jets – man, like –
the Jets really didn't play that bad.
no, the Jets played good. I think
Justin Fields
the
is
Jets
good.
should have won. The Jets should have won. I was saying on NFL Friday 2 weeks ago that I think Justin Fields will be good, and I said that I think the Jets will win this game.
Fully agree.
And they almost did. They should have won. Weirdly bad defense from one of the best defense in the league, and then a team that has a pretty solid defense in the Jets. The Jets lost it when you have those quick back-to-back touchdowns from Aaron Rodgers in quick succession after the Jets' turnover. I think that's what really solidified this, like really threw this game away. But I think you gotta feel good if you're a Jets fan, because they're known for just being like cope fan base for sure. Like they're like usually they're lying about being good when they're not. You know what I'm saying? Like it's like the Jets.
Yeah,
The Jets are the best team, but now, like,
no, they're still not that good.
really,
No.
you think that? Whoa!
Look.
Justin Fields was actually really good.
Justin Fields looked very good, right? They scored 30 points.
Their O-line
Great.
is so much better. Their O-line is so much
yes,
better.
yes.
really good.
Yes, but the thing is, like, coming into game one and losing game one doesn't, no matter how good you looked, doesn't change my thoughts on a team after one game. That just doesn't happen. I came into last week and I said I thought they were going to be, a 4-win team.
Hold on a minute.
I still
game.
think this is one of the one of the worst teams in the league still.
No.
Yes.
No.
100%. Losing one game does not make you. I don't care how okay you looked. The Steelers are not an elite team by any means.
Hold on,
No,
Barrett,
but they're one of the better teams in the AFC.
Barrett,
Bradley,
let me
go
ask you a
ahead.
quick question. If the Jets beat the Bills this Sunday,
They're-
will you change
what
your-
are we? They're not going to beat the
You
Bills.
know, they might beat the Bills, though.
Bills-
They
the-
might beat the Bills.
The Bills are only 6.5-point favorites.
Yeah,
over
the Bills. The
Jets.
Bills.
Look.
Only
Next week
6
we'll revisit this next week when they lose by 20. Okay,
They
it's
will not
just
lose by
not going to
20.
happen.
No, the Bills. The Bills have these games. The Bills are a team. The Bills are a prime time.
We're not.
The Bills
we're
are a
not
big
gonna
game
pretend.
team. The
We're
Bills
not
are
going to
good.
do this.
The Bills are a prime time
We're
team.
not going to pretend like the Jets are this elite team or one of the best. They're
No,
just
they're not. But they
we're
can
not
beat-
going to do this.
But they can beat the Bills. They can
Today's-
easily
no.
beat the Bills. The Bills are a primetime team. The Bills are the definition of we will go band for band with the best teams in the league. But then when we have to play the Jets
at 1 o'clock.
at
on a
1
Sunday
o'clock,
shift.
yeah, they're not the same. I will book it right now. Josh Allen will have
What
2
are we
interceptions.
doing? What are
No,
we doing?
no, but
we
he
are
won't.
not going to
the
pretend
Bills offense
like
will struggle.
the
Bills
my
offense will
God.
struggle.
I agree.
This
I
is
think
a
at
joke.
least in the first half.
This
the
is a
Bills
joke.
offense
If
will
you guys,
struggle.
if anyone watching at home takes away one thing from this episode, the Bills are primetime merchants. If you take anything away from this episode,
What are we doing?
Take
Also,
that
how
as
did
a
you?
joke.
Also, how did the Bills defense perform on Sunday night against a rushing quarterback? Not good at all.
Justin Fields is not Lamar Jackson. What are we doing?
I still think
Stop it.
At the end of the season, I think Justin Fields would be a top 20 quarterback at the end of the season.
Okay, well, yeah,
what?
yeah, top 20 quarterback, man.
I think top 15 possibly as well. Maybe
Stop
even-
it. Stop it. No, we're
Versatility-
not going to pretend like the Jets are a good team because they lost the first game of the season.
They
We're not
lost
gonna
34
do
to
that.
30. They put up 32 on one of the best defenses in the league.
They were consensusly not going to be a good team coming into the season. They lost the first game of the season as they were expected to, and now all of a sudden everyone wants to turn and say the Jets might be good. The Jets are not a good football
the
team.
Jets are-
they're just not.
I think they're the second best team in that division by
They
a
gave
mile.
up 34 points to Aaron Rodgers, and for some reason we think Josh Allen's going to come
Yeah,
in
no,
here
'cause
and look like a bum.
this
is a joke.
Aaron Rodgers had that one game where he'll just like throw for like 4 passing touchdowns and like 400 passing yards or that's that one game.
He's 40 years old and
That's
and
the
he
point.
can't move.
That's
And
the
the
point.
Jets gave up 34 points.
I think
to
the
him.
fact that the Bills are only plus 6.5 favorites is very telling about.
I
what-
would take
what-
if I was I don't bet, but
We don't
it's a
give
joke.
gambling
This
advice
is
on
a
the
gambling
show.
advice.
But
Nah.
that Jets.
Let's just say
underdog,
that's a pretty appealing line.
very appealing.
Yeah. Come on, can we give the Jets?
No.
How much do you think the Bills win by on Sunday?
20. It's
No.
not going to be close. I think the Jets
No.
scored 15 points. I think it's 35 to 15.
I think this reeks of like a. Honestly, this to me, I'm feeling 21 to 32. Honestly, so maybe Jets don't cover, but I'm telling you that first half is gonna be close. It's gonna be a lot closer than people think.
I'll say 35-24 or like 37-27 or whatever.
What about the Jets? Don't you like?
I want to hear what you're
I
like.
do not like the receiving core at all.
Garrett Wilson, and you're not moved by Garrett Wilson.
To be honest, not really. I think Garrett Wilson is a borderline top 20 receiver in the league. No, yeah, I think
Wow.
you would have to make the case to me that he's a top 20 receiver. In the
No,
league.
I think top 20 you could.
He's top 20 receiver. You really think on the top of your head you can name
Hold on, let me pull
Off the
up.
top of
Let
my
me
head,
pull up.
no,
Yeah, I'm
but-
gonna. Okay, let's go.
Jamar Chase, T. Higgins. Okay, let's go team. Let me.
I'm gonna look up NFL wide receiver ones, and we'll go.
No, don't. No, I don't care about wide receiver ones. I want all the wide receivers.
Okay,
in the
well,
league.
I'll go down the list of NFL wide receivers. You ready?
I'll go team by team, and I'll tell you the receivers on that team better than them.
Okay, actually, no. I got the list right now. Okay, Zay Flowers. No, not better.
If Zay Flowers from last week, yes.
Puka.
Zay-
Okay, Puka's better. Yes, that's
Here,
one.
I'll just. I'll just-
JSN is better.
Yes.
JSN is better. Okay, that's two. CeeDee Lamb's better.
Yes.
DK Metcalf.
No,
not
DK
better.
Metcalf's not better.
Lad McConkey's better.
Lad McConkey's
Yes.
better.
Lad McConkey's better. Okay.
Just read them all. Look, here's what I'll do.
Okay, we'll do the
Buffalo
obvious.
Bills.
We'll do the obvious ones.
No.
Keon Coleman's not better than Garrett Wilson.
No, he's not. Miami Dolphins. Tyreek and Jalen Waddle are both better than Garrett Wilson.
No, Tyreek Hill. No.
I don't know about
No,
that.
yes.
I don't know about that.
New England Patriots. Stephon Diggs is better than Garrett Wilson.
No.
That
No.
might be the worst take of
No,
the-
yeah, we're
of the
not doing
day.
that. We're not doing
No.
that. No.
Garrett-
Garrett Wilson is definitely looking at the wide receivers now. Thinking about it, Garrett Wilson's definitely a top 20 wide receiver.
Jamar Chase,
Yeah.
T. Higgins, both better.
No,
both better.
Garrett Wilson's better than T.
No, he is not.
Yes, he
Yes.
is.
No,
yes,
he
he
is
is.
not.
Yes, he is.
No, he is.
How can
What
you,
is?
You're
No, he
overrating
is
T.
not.
Higgins,
He is
man.
not better than T. Higgins.
how can you not say that Garrett Wilson is better than T. Higgins?
Because he isn't. He just isn't.
That's a crazy take. That might be the worst take of the day so far. Saying that T. Higgins saying that Stephon Diggs is better than Garrett Wilson.
Garrett Wilson's been at 1,000 yards receiving every year of his career. He put up 95.
He's the
against
only
one
receiver
of the
on that
best- One
team.
of the best corners in the league. It doesn't matter. He had. Who did he have?
Look,
who did
okay,
he have throwing to
I'll
him
keep
last
going
year?
down the list. Nico Collins, better than Garrett Wilson.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Brian Thomas, better than Garrett Wilson.
Maybe.
No, yes, I give.
Yes,
it to,
he is.
Yes,
Yes,
Brian Thomas
yes, he
better.
is. Yes,
Okay,
he is.
I'll give you that. Fair.
CeeDee Lamb, better.
Yeah.
Malik Neighbors, better.
Yes.
A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, both better.
Devontae Smith a little questionable, but AJ Brown, yes.
No. We're
Devontae Smith.
Garrett
is,
Wilson is not better than T. Higgins or Devontae
Yes,
Smith.
he is,
He
dude.
just
Yes, he
no,
is.
he's not.
Yes, he is.
We're not doing this.
This is
now.
delusional New York fan base.
No, this is not
This
even.
is
I'm not even a
delusional.
Jets fan.
I don't care if you're a
I'm
Jets
a
fan.
Giants fan.
I
I
don't
hate the
care.
Jets.
This is delusional. The Jets, first of all, the Jets are not good. Outside of Garrett Wilson, the Jets don't have a receiver. Okay, we'll agree to that.
They got
Garrett
Alan
Wilson,
Lazard. They got Alan Lazard.
I don't care.
No,
No,
Alan
Garrett
Lazard.
Wilson is not better than T. Higgins or
Well, just because you say it
Smith.
doesn't make it true. Garrett Wilson, a million% is better than T.
He's not.
Higgins.
He's not. DJ Moore, better than Garrett Wilson. Amon-Ra St. Brown, better.
Okay. Yes.
No one on the Packers
How many
is
is
better.
that?
Justin
Like,
Jefferson is better.
Yes.
I think
Here comes a crazy one.
Jordan Addison, Drake Flowers.
No,
Drake,
no.
What's his name?
Jordan Ass is
Who's-
suspended.
Why does it matter if he's suspended? He can be better. I said it's borderline. Who's the receiver? Drake. What's his name?
Drake
London.
London.
Drake
Drake
London.
London's better. Okay.
Drake London is. I think Drake
I think
London's
Drake.
better.
No, but I think the comp for me actually where the line falls on the Garrett Wilson scale is. For me, it's. I'm having a hard time deciding whether or not Rashee Rice is better than Garrett Wilson.
Okay, so
No.
you're having a hard time deciding on Rashee Rice, but you
Yeah.
think Rashee Rice is better than T. Higgins
Yeah.
and Devontae Smith.
Yeah,
No,
What?
wait, no. Okay, that I disagree with you with. No.
I do.
This
Rasheed
is absurd.
Rasheed Rice is not even the best receiver on his team.
Yes, he is.
Xavier
Yes,
Worthy
he
is
is.
better than
No, he's not.
People forget
All right,
Xavier
all right,
Worthy's
all right.
better than
Mahomes put out a hit on him on the field and took out his knee last season. He would have been a top 10
Xavier
receiver.
Worthy is not better than Rashee Rice.
I-
Okay,
I-
that's
I-
not true at all.
Okay, well, just.
Yeah, not as a take that from a guy who's from Texas too.
Oh,
Like,
I'd also say Marvin Harrison Jr. is better than Garrett Wilson.
No.
Yes.
no,
I like that. Okay,
I'd also.
so
No.
T. Higgins is better than Marvin Harrison Jr.
No,
no.
he's
Marvin
not.
Harrison Jr. is better than T. Higgins,
Yes,
but
I
Garrett
agree with
Wilson's
that.
better than both of them.
Yes. Or no, I would take Marvin Harrison Jr. over Garrett Wilson.
This is insanity. This is insanity.
What about Mike? Are you
Just
guys thinking-
because
what
you're
about
not
Mike
the wide
Evans?
receiver one does not mean just because T. Higgins is not the wide receiver one on a team.
But Garrett
with
Wilson would be the wide
Jam-
receiver 2 on the Bengals.
Yeah, Garrett Wilson would be the wide receiver 3 on the Bengals. He's
No, he would
not better than
no,
T.
he would
Higgins.
not. No, he would not. No, he would not. No,
What about Mike Evans? You guys taking Mike Evans over Garrett Wilson?
No.
or-
Right now, no. Not at what 34. No.
But
He still put up 1,000 yards last year at 33.
Yeah. I don't think right now he's better than Garrett Wilson. I don't think that.
Garrett
but-
Wilson with a better Garrett Wilson with like Joe Burrow.
What about Chris Olave?
No.
17 times concussed Chris Olave? No.
They just be sending Chris Olave out onto that field, man. I feel bad for him. They just,
What about Jerry Judy? Jerry Judy's been
no.
getting hot. Last year,
no.
Jerry Judy was solid last year.
Yeah, I don't care. Garrett Wilson.
you taking
Garrett
Jerry
Wilson
Jeudy
is a
over-
great wide receiver 1.
I think it can go
I'm
either
not
way.
saying Garrett Wilson is bad. I think he's a very good receiver. I don't think he's a top 20. Again, maybe he's 18 to 20. He's not a top 15 receiver in the league.
You can make. I
I
think,
think there's an argument.
Top 15.
I think you have to make an argument to me because I think T. Higgins is better. I think Devontae Smith is better. Okay. Anyways, back to what I don't like about the Jets, because that was what this question
You
was.
got really sidetracked.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah,
What don't you like? What don't you like?
I don't really love the defense. There's pieces like
That's fair.
Quinnen Williams is elite. Quinnen Williams is
We
one of
know
the
I
best
hate
defensive-
Sauce Gardner.
You don't like Sauce Gardner. I think I don't love the pass rush. I don't love.
That's fair. That's very fair, actually.
I really don't love the linebacking core.
Just the defense in
So
general.
The defense in
just-
general, I'm just not the biggest fan of, and I do really like the offensive line. I think the offensive line is significantly better than it was last year. If Breece Hall is good, if Braylon Allen is good, great. They're gonna run the ball a lot this season. That's fine. Just outside of Garrett Wilson, I don't see where the receiving threat is. Justin Fields could be good, but like at the end of the day, we've seen a lot to say Justin Fields is not a great NFL quarterback, so he's gonna have to prove himself to be a good NFL
I mean,
quarterback.
he was the better quarterback last year on the Steelers.
Yep.
He was, yes,
Agree with that.
I agree. But at the end of the day, I just don't think the Jets are that good of a team. I think
Justin Fields is honestly might be the hardest I think player to place because
I still think he should be on the Bears. I think they should have drafted Marvin Harrison Jr.
we can get this to general NFL. Caleb
Yeah.
Williams sucks.
I agree, but I value versatility, so that's why I rank Justin Fields higher than I would other quarterbacks, just because he has that ability to run as well as pass. Obviously, his rushing is miles better than his passing.
His passing looked pretty good. He threw some deep balls on the money. That Garrett Wilson touchdown was a great pass.
Justin Fields has a good arm. That's for sure. But
I like what the Jets are doing. I think that was the right move. It was the right move. I think. Oh, okay. One thing I think I really like about the Jets, though, their coaching.
I love Aaron Glenn. I think he's very good.
Yep. I think Aaron Glenn got me. Honestly, Aaron Glenn, not even a Jets fan. I'm Giants beat report. Aaron Glenn got me fired up watching him on that sideline. Like, I think Robert Saleh, there are words I could use, but I can't use them on air to describe Robert Saleh.
Whoa.
And he joined my arch nemesis 49ers. And we know how we'll get into that later too. But I think the Jets, massive upgrade. And the O-line is just the biggest thing. Everyone says the Jets could be good. Their O-line just sucks, like unbelievably atrocious. But it's good this year. they have made the right moves. They have drafted the right players to give Justin Fields a fighting chance. There are times when Justin Fields had like 4 seconds, 5 seconds in the pocket, which honestly, any NFL quarterback, if they get that much time, should be able to do something.
His average time to throw was like 3.5 seconds.
That's unbelievable.
It was the second longest. It was the second longest in the entire league behind Caleb Williams, which says a lot about Caleb.
Caleb Williams just be looking
it's
down.
not-
Caleb
and it's-
Williams just be praying.
And it's not because Caleb Williams' offensive line is elite. It's because Caleb Williams decides to run a mile every.
Yeah.
I know we have to wrap up the segment soon, but
He's
the
on a
Jets only
Shedeur
won 5
Sanders
games. You
timing.
think the Jets win more than 5 games this year, right?
Easily
easily.
win more than 5 games.
They win. You think they do worse than 5-12?
I think
last
the
year?
Jets sweep the Dolphins and the Patriots.
No, I think the Patriots have something going on there. I think they split that series.
Okay.
All right,
okay, that's
here,
3
we'll go-
wins.
So they're
That's 3
they're
wins.
0-1. They're 0-1 right now.
Yeah.
Bills, I think that's a loss.
Let's run through their schedule.
Bucks, I think that's a loss.
Yeah.
Dolphins
I
win.
know. I think a W for the Bills. I would give them. You know what? Maybe one
No,
of those,
no,
one of those
I
Bills
won't
games
go
has
that
to be a
so
W.
insane.
No,
This
I
is
think
so
I
insane.
think
They're
the
just-
I think the Bills will
They're
win.
they're not a good team.
They're
They're
The
not
Bucks
as
though,
good as the Bills.
the Bucks are sleeping on though. I think the Jets can win that because the Buccaneers defense is
can't.
bad.
No, they
The Buccaneers
cannot.
No,
pass
but I
defense
think
is
they take
really
one of-
bad.
They take one of the
The
games.
pass
against
defense. The Jets don't have a passing offense. Who
Yes, they
cares?
do. Yes, they do. They aired it out well. The Jets.
Oh my God.
I think the Jets take one of
This
those
is delusional.
Bills games. I think they do.
Yeah, I think they do too.
You're,
They
you're
take.
overreacting to one game that they lost.
Okay,
I
they
don't
beat
understand
the
this.
Dolphins. They lose to the Cowboys.
They lose to the Broncos.
They lose to the Broncos. They beat
Say
the
they
Pan.
beat the Cowboys.
No,
Cowboys aren't good.
no. I think the Cowboys will have it figured out. I like
The Jets aren't good either.
I like the Cowboys this year. I think Panthers. They beat the Panthers. They lose to the Bengals. They beat the Browns. They beat the Patriots. They lose to the Ravens. Falcons will be a close game. Honestly, I feel comfortable saying
No,
that
it won't. No,
that will
it
go
won't.
either way. Yes, it will.
The Falcons are going to beat the Jets. Come on now.
Okay.
God.
The Jets beat the Dolphins again. Jets lose to the Jaguars, I'm going to say. They beat the Saints. Probably lose to the Patriots, lose to the Bills. They're a 7-win team. 8-win team.
I don't think you said they win 7 games in there.
Yeah, I did.
they do.
I think they beat the Bucks, the Dolphins, that's 2. They beat the Panthers, that's 3.
They beat the Bills once.
No,
That's 4.
that's beat the Bills once, 4. They beat the Browns, that's 5. They beat the Patriots once, that's 6. They beat the Saints, that's 7. I said 7 wins. I think
That's
that's
7 and 10. I think that's.
I'm looking at 5 wins right here.
no way.
They're better than they were last year.
Yeah.
So by that logic, I assume they're going to win more games.
Yeah, I think I feel we can agree to disagree.
No, they're not.
At
a good
least
team. This
Barrett, before we end the segment, can you agree that they have more promise going into the season than they did last year? Like they improved.
Justin Fields has improvement from Aaron Rodgers.
Yeah. Yes.
I'll agree to that.
Okay.
At least
That's
he agreed
all
with
I'm going to
something.
agree
We'll
to.
move on from that.
I think 5 to 6 wins is what
Okay.
we're looking at.
We'll disagree on that. We'll move on from a team that has some promise to a team that I thought was going to have promise that, oh man, maybe might be worse than we.
Why did you think the Giants would have? We'll get into it.
We'll get into it. We'll get into it. We'll get into why I think the Giants have promise. We'll hear Barrett crash out about why I think the Giants had promise, but they don't have promise. We'll get into that right after this break.
Hello, everybody. I'm Chris Carino.
And I'm Joe Henry.
Tune in weekly for NFL Friday, your exclusive WFUV sports podcast for all things National Football League.
We'll be covering everything on and off the gridiron for the biggest sports league in the world. Every week on Spotify, Apple, and wherever you get your podcast.
Can the Eagles repeat?
Will the Jets or Giants finally take a leap?
What's Shedeur up to?
All of that and more on NFL Friday on WFUV Sports.
What's Shedeur up to? You heard Chris Carino ask that. Well, Shedeur is currently riding the bench. That's what he's up to, probably flexing his AP to anyone that will listen. But we're going to talk about the Giants. They looked bad. Okay, we talked about this to end the last segment. I thought they had promise because I do believe they have a top 5 defense in the league, or if not top 10 easily. I also thought Russell Wilson would be an improvement. I mean, Malik Neighbors was already the second most targeted receiver in the league last season. I drafted in every fantasy league because I thought he would now with Russell Wilson be the most targeted league. But Brian Daboll decided that we're just not going to give our star wide receiver the ball. And Malik Neighbors let him hear it. I think I saw a great tweet. It was Ohio State wide receivers will be like, "Yes, coach. Sorry, let's improve." LSU wide receivers will be like, "Get me the damn ball, bro." Like, he was having words. I think the play calling was goofy. Like, to bring it, like, to get your first touchdown of the year, to bring the game close on, like, the 2-yard line, they try some, like, goofy hack play instead of just, like, handing the ball off. Russell Wilson would know a lot about not handing the ball off in that range. As a Seahawks fan, I'll hold that L. But, like, man, lost 21-6 in Washington. Russell Wilson was 17 for 37 attempts, 168 yards, no touchdown. They only got Malik Neighbors 5 receptions, 71 yards. Their best rusher was Cam Scatabo. Their 2 top running backs had 23 rushing yards between them. Like, where do we go from here, guys? You're a Giants fan, Bradley, so I'll start with you.
I also had hope for the Giants just because of the defensive aspect, but Russell Wilson attempted 37 passes. 20 of those targets should have been Malik Neighbors. 12 targets for one of the best receivers in football is not nearly enough. And as I've been a huge Brian Daboll supporter since he's been here, and I have to say I have changed my opinion on him. I do think that they should be 90% of Russell Wilson's passes should be either deep balls to Malik Neighbors or first downs to Malik Neighbors.
Yes.
The game plan should be Malik Neighbors, Malik Neighbors, Malik Neighbors.
He should be breaking the reception record. He should be breaking the reception record. I don't care if they're like checkdowns.
He should be looking like the next like Randy Moss.
No, he's a great wide. He's probably another wide receiver that's better than Garrett Wilson.
We said him.
Yeah. Okay. Well, I think he's one of the best wide receivers in the league. I
do too. The entire game plan should just be Malik Neighbors. Yeah. Give Malik Neighbors the ball.
They don't have a running back, though, and I think that is really screwing this offense because it's so hard when you can't really – I'm a big play action guy. Like, that's –
Oh, me too.
I'm a big play action guy. If you in the words of John Gruden, when you establish the run and then can hit him with a mean play action ball – that makes me feel real nicey, in the words of John Gruden. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's just pure. Just run it down their throats, and then right when they're ready, hit them with a little tuck and roll out with Russell Wilson, who was great at that.
Exactly.
Deep ball Malik Neighbors.
The offense. This is gonna sound crazy. The Giants' offense can be good if they just do that more often. Run the ball 3 times in a row with Cam Scatabo, Tyrone Tracy. And then just like maybe on like a second down or whatever, just hit him with like the meanest play action and then throw a bomb to Malik Neighbors.
Cam Scatabo has proven already in 1 week that he's putting his life on the line. Like, he is CTE maxing completely. His after football career is going to be sad. But I'm just looking at Barrett right now, and he
doesn't like the statement I just made with the Giants offense.
Go ahead, man. You have something you want to say clearly.
The ghost of Russell Wilson is playing quarterback for the New York Giants, and you think their offense could be good. I just don't understand it.
It can be good. It can be good.
The offensive line sucks.
If you do the play action thing, all you got to do is just run the ball 3 times in a row, hit him with the play action, throw a 30-yard bomb, and then boom, that's
If it was that easy, every offense would be good. It's not that easy. It's the NFL.
Some offenses execute that better than others.
Because they have good quarterbacks and they have good offensive lines, something the Giants don't have either of.
Well, for a play action, if a QB's scrambling outside, if there's
Russell Wilson cannot move. It's a cheap imitation.
Then
it's like imitation crab.
What are you proposing for the QB situation? Who do you throw in there then?
Jameis. I think Jameis should be the quarterback. I don't think it makes it really that much better, but at least Malik Neighbors will be happy because he'll get 800 targets a game.
Can I go on a quick rant, which is in relation to Russell Wilson and like how they're using him? You said he's a shell of his former self. I'm gonna look at the camera right there. Every offensive coordinator. Let's get under center, bro. I am so tired of seeing shotgun if you are within the 5, like if you are in the red zone, you're within your opponent's 5-yard line. I don't want to see your quarterback line up in shotgun. Like genuinely, what are we doing? We have reached like this like nexus point of where everyone just runs like their quarterback out of shotgun. Get him under center. Like actually get your quarterback under center. It makes no. And with a person like Russell Wilson, he needs to.
I feel like the Eagles are really the only team that's like under like the I formation.
It's what I think the Seahawks need to do. They need to line up in I formation every time. I don't understand. Like
I think the Seagulls, the Eagles are the only team like in the red zone. They're never in the shotgun in the red zone. They're always getting ready for the tush push every single time.
Yeah, because you could just line up in I formation, get your fullback. Like you can do whatever from that. You can do whatever. You can draw back. Like again, though, that does come with though. I think they feel a lot more comfortable lining up under center just purely because they know if they do run a pass, like a regular just drop back pass, they do have the best O-line in football, and that gives you a little bit of confidence. And as you mentioned, Barrett, the Giants don't have an O-line. Like
they do not. They don't
really have a quarterback either, honestly. If we're being honest. I mean, Jameis Winston, he is the only quarterback in NFL history to have 30 touchdowns and 30 interceptions in the same season. So
yeah,
at least we'll know he'll throw the ball. It may not be well, but at least Malik Neighbors can get 25 targets a game.
What are your thoughts on having Brian Burns play contain on like every defensive snap? That was ridiculous. Did you see the play where he ran at Jaden Daniels and just like puts his hands up like he's
that is stupid.
Yeah,
because not every quarterback is going to be like Jaden Daniels and scramble all the time. Like guys like.
Well, I mean, I guess that's what he would prevent Jaden Daniels from scrambling by playing contain. But also, it's like, dude, he's one of the best defensive like edge rushers in the league.
You can't have
let him run at the quarterback.
The play where he puts his hands up is because he thought Jaden Daniels was going to throw the ball and he's trying to back.
I know it's just
that's what he's doing.
It still looks dumb.
That's what you're taught. But no. I will defend that play.
So like
that's how you're taught. It looked a little funky, but that's what you're taught.
No,
I
will defend that too. I just think in the context of how they were that play within the context of the overall game, how they were playing him makes it look a lot more funny. I also think like
and the reason he's playing contain is because they're playing Jaden Daniels.
I know, then just use
if they're playing
spy, bro. I don't like.
If you're playing like Jared Goff, for example, or like Matthew Stafford,
they need to like.
They're gonna be
let him be like Micah Parsons, where you see Micah Parsons. Micah Parsons looks like he's like shot out of a cannon, just like.
He's not Micah Parsons though.
He could be.
I do have to say, Brian Burns is tied for third in the league with sacks.
Yeah, Brian Burns is the closest thing we'll get, I think, to Micah Parsons. He won't maybe not be Micah Parsons, but
I mean, Abdul Carter is basically just like Micah Parsons, but like a little bit younger.
Yeah, I mean, the Giants have like
the defense is very good.
If this Giants team can build their offense over the coming years, there is a real possibility that in 3 years, this Giants team is just what the Packers are now.
I like that take.
I think you might need a new coach before you get there.
And you definitely need a new quarterback. That's for sure.
However, I don't think you'll. Actually, no. I think there's some good quarterbacks on the boards coming up, but again, it almost feels like whatever quarterback.
They're going to give Jackson Dart at least a couple years. So
yeah, whatever. Which that's another conversation actually.
No, he shouldn't play.
We had this conversation in the back. At first, I was like a huge advocate for him playing over Russell Wilson, but then when they signed Jameis, I'm like, okay, maybe let him sit for. Maybe give him some reps towards like the end of the season when the season's already over,
or give him reps in games
maybe
that
like
are done.
Maybe like week 16 when like you know, like the Giants. The season will be over in like 2 weeks anyway for the Giants, but at week 16 or 17 when the games don't matter for them, maybe have Jackson Dart get like a few reps in there. Maybe not let him finish the whole game.
I don't think Jackson Dart should touch the field. I think he should sit.
I think he should touch the field, maybe a few reps, but not like for a full.
I'm a big advocate, and honestly, I don't care if you're the first round. I don't care if you're the first overall pick. I don't care if you're the 60th overall pick. I don't think rookie quarterbacks should touch the field in their first. I think all rookie quarterbacks should sit behind a veteran their first year. I think you've seen it work out for like. Think of the guys that are the best quarterbacks in the league. Okay, except for like Lamar, right?
Lamar sat his rookie year behind Joe Flacco
for a little bit. Josh Allen played his rookie year, but he was atrocious.
Josh Allen
rookie year. He was
not a good football.
He was
player
really bad. Yeah, he was really bad. But Mahomes
sat a year.
Mahomes sat a year. We've seen Penix now look pretty good. Sat a year.
Sort of.
I mean, even guys that sat for the majority of their career. Look at Geno. He's still a.
I mean, J.J. McCarthy.
Geno might be the most ethical Geno might be the most ethical quarterback in the whole league. The way his distribution wise, I think you. And then I think inversely, look at the guys who get thrown into it. Caleb Williams, not looking good.
Not at all.
Not at all. Honestly, the Bears should have gone after like a Kirk Cousins, and then have Caleb Williams sit behind.
I think rookie quarterbacks should sit majority of the year. Maybe give them like garbage time reps.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, Penix got garbage time reps too. Penix got
I'm totally against sitting quarterback for an entire year. Maybe like when you're getting blown out, or like if your season's over and you want to like rest starters, then you could put the rookie quarterback in there and see how they perform. Because then that could help you for next year as well when you're deciding who a starting quarterback
also
should
mitigates the sophomore slump, which we see. We see it all the time, and we're seeing it happen now.
Guarantee that
it's a guarantee, except for, ironically enough, the one player who didn't have a sophomore slump, had a sophomore Super Bowl, is the Giants quarterback, Russell Wilson. It's like the one player in recent memory I could think of that was like great their sophomore season. But I also, with regards though to Jackson Dart sitting, I think Barrett, you and I talked about this. I'll let you expand on it a little more. Jameis Winston is not the guy you want Jackson Dart learning from, though, because Jameis Winston is just all the flaws that Jackson Dart has, like, amplified by a million. It'd be like, for lack of a better, it'd be like, how do I make an example that's not gonna that I can? Okay, it would be like if you had a kid that's known for taking cookies from the cookie jar, learn from the Cookie Monster. You know what I'm saying?
That's pretty
like
accurate.
that. Yeah. No, the thing is, Jackson Dart is he's a gambler on the field. He loves to make risky decisions. Sometimes it pays off. A lot of times it doesn't. He's got the talent.
Yeah. I mean, if you want the deep balls to Neighbors.
Yeah, exactly. That's why I think Jameis Winston should be the starter. Just feed Malik Neighbors, keep him happy, and then next year Jackson Dart's the starter. And you try and be a good team.
I don't.
You're not gonna be good. You're not gonna be good this year. So your best bet is just make Malik Neighbors happy, so he doesn't demand a trade, because that's the NFL.
Did you guys see his Sorry, intro. Did you guys see his drafting? The first interview he had, he looked just like so depressed to be in a Giants uniform.
Yeah. Well, because I think he very much is like, I'm fine with being on the. I'm sure going into the year, he's like, I'm fine being on the Giants.
Just give me every
the
target.
ball, and I'm gonna make and it's gonna look very good on my stats. It's gonna be very, very.
It's like Malik Neighbors has the power to be the best wide receiver in football, but he's just in the worst possible situation.
He should be in a position where he can statistically be the best wide receiver in football.
Like if Malik Neighbors had Joe Burrow as his quarterback, he'd have 2,000 receiving yards this year.
Yeah, I think he's. Yeah, and I think he has every right to be upset if he's not getting fed the ball. You know what I'm saying? There are plenty of teams that need wide receivers that would love to have him. And it's just a player, as if you're the Giants organization, you cannot afford to make unhappy. I would have, if I'm Brian Dable, I'm like being his personal DoorDasher. I'm doing anything.
I'll clean your I'll clean the locker for you. Like I'll help you like do your laundry.
Yeah.
You know, whatever you need to do to be happy.
If you wake up in the middle of the night and need a glass of water, I'm there. If I'm Brian Dable, you know what I'm saying? Like.
Well, Brian Dable may not even be there if this season.
He shouldn't be there.
He should. Yeah,
he's coaching for his job right now, and it's not looking like he's going to keep it.
But that's a good thing, I think, for the Giants. I think I said this before. I said the Giants, if they're not going to be a playoff team, they need to be bad. They need to be very bad.
Which they're going to be.
You think Arch Manning is in the cards?
Arch Manning's not going to come out of college.
I don't think Arch Manning will come out of college.
Well, if the Giants are also bad next year, I mean, the Giants had one Manning, and that worked out pretty well.
If the Giants are bad next year, there needs to be some conversations, because that you're wasting that defense. You're wasting Malik Neighbors. I don't think you can afford to be bad next year if you're the Giants.
Who do you
also
go
again
to, though?
Also again, Jackson Dart's your quarterback for at least the next for at least his rookie contract.
Yeah,
you're stuck with that. So Arch Manning, none of that really matters.
Hear me out about a Giants coach. If you want to have players that want to play for you, particularly college quarterbacks, there's a guy who is coaching a really bad college football team.
I know exactly who you're about to say.
Who probably won't stay there.
Bill?
I think you go get Bill. He would love to be. I think he would love to be in New York. I think it's a guy who will, like we said, he will establish the heck out of that. He will play a grounded offense, and that's what they need. And also, tell me someone like Arch Manning, who honestly right now I don't think wants to play for the Giants. That might be a little bit of a.
Well, I don't.
It
Why are
worked
we
out
talking about Arch
well.
Manning? Jackson Dart is the quarterback. They're not going to draft Arch Manning. They just drafted Jackson Dart.
I don't know. I think as a.
If Jackson Dart doesn't play well,
I think if
his
Arch Manning's
sophomore
there, there's no harm in taking him.
as long as they don't draft like Drew Aller, then that's all that matters to me. Because Drew Aller is just Jackson Dart with, as you said, in the booth,
Stronger arm.
with stronger arm.
Or you take actually, if Jackson Dart, if they believe in Jackson Dart, they need to be tanking, and then you get a Jeremiah Smith next to a Malik Neighbors, and then you.
But you need a running back though, so I was thinking maybe like a Jeremiah Love or something instead. Just
Not
because
in the first,
You can
doesn't
go
matter.
second round for a running back, man. Most great running backs are second rounders.
I think Tyrone Tracy's good enough. You need an offensive line. That's what you need.
But imagine that receiver core though. That would be one of the best wide receiver cores in the sport.
Yeah,
If they got
I
Jeremiah
think
Smith.
you would take Jeremiah Smith and then go all offensive line for the rest of the draft. Honestly,
Yeah, you just pick like 5 straight offensive line
Yeah.
guys.
like let's go. You just take those like Montana guys in the second and third round. You know, let those dudes block.
That's all the Giants need to do is just tank this year and go get Jeremiah Smith, go get offensive line, and then they could be a solid team. It's not like
Jeremiah Smith isn't draft eligible this year.
Oh right, I mean,
Wait.
sorry.
Didn't I just realize? Barrett, are you a Texans fan?
I am not. I'm a Saints fan.
Okay, because I was gonna say if you were a Texans fan, I know why you're really low on the Giants. It's because the Texans are just the Texans are just the Giants with better PR and a slightly better quarterback. Insane wide receiver one that won't get fed enough because his quarterback will have 0 seconds to throw the ball.
Yeah, pretty much.
For the most part.
Yeah.
Except they have a lot of good receivers. Jane Higgins is good. Christian Kirk's good.
Yeah.
Nick Chubb is Nick Chubb. The defense is elite. But the offensive line sucks.
So they're the Giants.
Yeah, except the rest of the team is also good. Like,
Nick Chubb is a fragile old man.
yeah, but then they got what's his name? Joe Mixon. They've
Yeah.
got the offense is actually very good. It's just the offensive line is pretty shaky for the Texans, which we can talk about the Texans later in the next segment. But like at the end of the day, the Giants don't have really anything on offense. They don't have a running back. They don't have an offensive line. They've got one wide receiver, and they don't have a quarterback. So it'll depend on how much that defense can carry them. But it really, I don't know.
Yeah.
Not high on the Giants.
Not high on the Giants. I think that's the general consensus as of right now. Next segment, we're going to have some fun. We can kind of get into everything that's been going on with the league because I know it's been a great start. Week 2 coming up, week 1 last week. Some great games, honestly, some of the best games I've seen. We'll get into that right after this quick break.
You're listening to WFUV, New York.
What is up, everybody? We are going to be talking some general NFL. Was a great week 1 slate. I think went a lot of ways that not a lot of people expected to a certain extent. As the A-host for this segment, I'm going to exercise my executive order, and we will talk about the Seahawks at some point, but we're not going to start. We're not going to start with that. I'm just going to do a quick rundown of the games. Eagles beat the Cowboys. Chargers get a win on a Friday night game in Sao Paulo against the Chiefs. Colts absolutely dismantled the Dolphins. We talked about Steelers-Jets. Jaguars beat the Panthers in an ugly game that got delayed by some storms. Cardinals narrowly beat the Saints. Commanders handedly beat the Giants. Buccaneers get a little lucky with a coup, missed field goal at the end. Bengals scrape one out against the Browns despite having 7 total yards of offense in the second half. Raiders handle the Patriots. 49ers beat the Seahawks in a pretty undeserved win. Broncos also kind of scraped by against the Titans. Packers dismantle the Lions. Rams win the defensive battle against the Texans. Ravens and Bills just decided they're going to do absolute cinema, and the Ravens choked that one. And then the Bears said, "Yo, Ravens, that was pretty cool. You want to see us do that as well?" And then the Vikings, led by J.J. McCarthy, come back to win that one on Monday night. Which one stands out to you guys?
I think that Chiefs game, or Chiefs-Chargers games, really stands out to me in big question marks for the Chiefs now on what they're going to do in terms of throwing. Like, who is Patrick Mahomes going to be throwing the ball to? Because is Travis Kelce going to get 60 targets a game? Maybe. It might be what they have to do.
You want to hear my hot take about the Chiefs?
I would love to hear your hot take.
They're finishing last in that division.
Last?
Whoa.
Yep.
Here we go.
Yep. I think they'll split every game except for the Chargers. I think they'll get swept by the Chargers. The Chargers are honestly...
You think the Raiders are going to finish ahead of...
I think the Chargers are the best team in the AFC. I'm not going to lie. The Broncos are good. The Broncos are the best defense in the
The
league.
Chargers are not better than the Bills. Not yet.
I think
they're better than the Ravens?
Yeah, I think they're well. I think they're perfect. I think they're the Chargers, in my opinion, are like the definition of just like a pure football team.
Talk to me in maybe like week 8, and then right now I'd probably take the Ravens over the Chargers. But
yeah, maybe in the playoffs. I'm not saying necessarily like Super Bowl, but I think for the regular season, I have them being the best team in the AFC. I think they're like a 13-win team, like a 13-win team, 14-win, maybe.
I'm not mad at that.
But
all right, well, I don't think the Chiefs are going to be the worst team in
maybe above the
West,
Raiders, but I think they'll definitely finish.
AFC West, but
I think they'll definitely finish below the Chargers and the Broncos.
I agree.
This Chiefs team is old.
Yeah. No, I don't think they're a great team, but who are they going to throw the ball to? I do not know.
Rasheed Rice in 6 weeks, I guess.
I guess, but
coming off an injury though.
Xavier Worthy is, I don't know what's going on with that.
But they've never needed.
He was ruled out tonight. It was Xavier Worthy.
Yeah,
officially.
They
never really. I mean, yeah, they had Tyreek Hill, but even after that, they won Super Bowls without Tyreek Hill. They never
got better without Tyreek.
Yeah,
but they had like a prime Travis Kelce. They don't have a prime Travis Kelce anymore.
I mean, they had an aging Travis Kelce like 2 years ago. Still, I mean, he's great, but yeah, Travis Kelce's washed. He's done. Dunzo. He's walking on the field. Like Mahomes is still doing some like genie stuff out there, but I don't think that's enough this year, man.
No. But as you were saying, my big takeaway was this Chargers team. Justin Herbert is legit. I mean, we've known he's legit. He's very good, but like that was a spectacular performance.
Insane.
I really, really like Amari Hampton. I know that maybe the box score doesn't jump out, but he looked really good.
Yeah.
Lad McConkey is a dog.
Yeah, I mean they're just such a.
They're fun to watch.
They're
fun
a
to
great
watch.
team.
And the defense is very good.
Yeah.
So
they also got great coaching. Like they're a good. They're a dang good team. It's a shame they don't have any fans. It's a shame no one cares about LA teams. But I don't know. Bradley, why don't you choose another game before I'll get into my game after you get into your game, but take the reins.
For me, I think the Packers are the best team, not in just the NFC. I'd take them the best team arguably in football. Because the Packers, I know obviously Thursday already, the game already happened, but the Packers have looked really, really, really good. I think they're a top 3 team in the NFL right now. Maybe not the best, but they are top 3. I saw the stat actually. I'm a huge stat guy, so
big stat guy over here.
So last year the Lions were first in points per game, and the Commanders were 5th. The Lions had around 35 points per game. The Commanders had around 28. The Packers held the Lions 13 points, and they held the Commanders at 18 points. So I am really high on the Packers this year. Like,
Yeah.
I think trading for Micah Parsons was, they traded away basically a bag of chips and some cookies for Micah Parsons. So I think that was the piece they needed to take the next step, and I think they take away the division from the Lions. I think
they didn't trade a bet. Kenny Clark, is that his name?
yeah,
They got the
Very
better
good.
end. They got the
They
better
definitely
end.
did, but
they got the much better end.
Kenny Clark though was
very good player.
decent for the
He was
decent for
decent,
the Cowboys.
I think with the Lions losing both their coordinators, I think the Lions are going to definitely take a little bit of a decline this year. And I don't know, it's just something about the Packers vibes that just gives me a sign. I mean, they had 8 sacks over the first 2 games. They've had 6 touchdowns. They've only allowed 48.5 rushing yards a game. They are 6 in yards per play. They're 6 in points per game. I don't know. It's just something about the Packers that's just like, and I think Jordan Love is a top 10 quarterback in my opinion. Maybe towards like the back end of that top 10,
Yeah.
like that 8, 9, 10 range. But I think this is the year he finally, he got paid this offseason. I think he takes that next step and performs really, really well. I'm really, really high. In case it wasn't obvious, I'm really high on the Packers.
I think I agree. Barrett, how about you? I think the Packers just look great. They're borderline unstoppable.
I don't know about unstoppable, but they do look very good. I think Jordan Love is kind of coming into his own now. The defense looks very good. Devontae Wyatt is a stud on the defensive line in the middle there. I mean, he just eats blockers. Very good. The receiving core is, they've got about like 7 guys who are legit NFL receiving threats, so that's great. Tucker Kraft, stud. Even Luke Musgrave, also a very good tight end. Like, they just have weapons all over the field on both sides of the ball, and the Eagles are still going to be a problem in the NFC, but I definitely do like what the Packers bring.
I think Packers second best behind the Eagles. I'd say Eagles right now just because they're the reigning champs until proven otherwise. I put them at 1, then I put the Packers at 2, and I put Bills at 3, and then I go Ravens 4, Chargers 5. That's probably my. Well, obviously it's only been week 1, so it's very early to say. But if I was to make a top 5, it'd probably be the teams in that order. So Eagles, Packers. Wow, how am I blanking? Who is my number 3? Oh, Wow, I just had a massive brain for. Okay, it was the Eagles, then it was the Packers, then it was the Bills, the Ravens, and the Chargers. Sorry, I just have a huge.
No, yeah, I think the Chargers are better than the Eagles.
Whoa,
I don't think the Eagles are the best team in the league.
I think you have to put the defending champs at number 1 until proven otherwise.
Yeah, they should have lost that game against the Cowboys.
If CD Lamb doesn't drop that pass, we might be having a different conversation.
Maybe.
I just don't think I'm ready to put the Eagles anything lower than 2. At worst, you got to put them at 2 just because reigning champs until proven otherwise. But I think maybe by the end of the year the Chargers can be better. I'm not mad at that.
Yeah.
But right now I say no.
Okay, let me talk about the Seahawks. Did you guys get to catch that game at all? Did you see the horrible defense on the 49ers winning touchdown? Atrocious. Brock Purdy threw an underhanded jump ball. Tariq Woolen, get yourself a Chuck E. Cheese application. Also,
you're out on Reek Woolen?
He'll probably bounce back this week, but dude, come on. You can't give that should be a pick, honestly. You can't give that up. The Seahawks' offense the defense again proved me. I think that we have a top 5 defense in the league, and our defense was great. That's what now it's continuing from last year. It's 9 out of our last 10 games we haven't given up more than 20 points, which I think if you're a defense in the NFL and you don't give up 20 points, you've done your job. Offense got to score. Sam Darnold fumbles it off the back of his O-lineman to lose the game. Kenneth Walker doesn't get the ball. Interesting. I think we're falling back into old habits. So we don't have a wide receiver 2. Maybe look for Waddle or someone. Because Dolphins clean out, but
you're not high in Cooper Kupp.
Well, I just don't. I think he's fine. I just don't think Sam Darnold is high on Cooper Kupp because he wasn't passing him the ball. JSN accounted for all of his receiving yards pretty much. I don't know. It was a slow offensive game. The Seahawks, dating back to the start of last year, have not scored a first drive touchdown.
Really?
Wow, that's a what is that?
All 17 games
18
last year,
games?
they didn't.
So that's 18 straight games?
We're now on 18 straight games of not having a
Yikes.
Is it just touchdown or score?
no touchdown.
Oh, okay. So.
But
wow.
but that's crazy. It's something that I didn't notice as a Seahawks fan until that stat came up last week. I was like, what? It's bad. But that's my quick Seahawks rant. I want to touch on the Broncos-Titans game because speaking of guys getting sold by drops, Cam Ward actually looked pretty good.
Cam Ward's legit.
They just couldn't catch. Like, do you see his dad in the stands when Cal Ridley dropped that pass? He was like, he literally like, couldn't look. Broncos though still shake by, but man, I did not think I would. I mean, I thought he would be decent, but Cam Ward looks like pretty legit.
Yeah, no, Cam Ward is, based off of one game, he's a legit NFL quarterback. He looked, again, another box score that maybe doesn't look the most spectacular, but like on the field, he looked very good.
The passes were
Very
actually
comfortable,
like, on
too.
target and looked good. Like, it's just the wide receivers that he has to deal with. I mean, Calvin Ridley, he's all right, but I mean, you look at like Ayo Manor and
Ayo Manor's good.
he's solid, but I mean,
His coach is an idiot.
yeah, that's true. But where were we? Oh yeah, right. Sorry, the Broncos. I think Bo Nix is a little overrated. I think we're overrating Bo Nix a tiny bit. I mean, yeah, he went 25 of 40 with 176 passing yards, but the 2 interceptions, just where are you throwing the ball? Like,
Yeah, just stupid decisions.
I just think we're overrating Bo Nix a tiny little bit. Like, people are saying, oh, he's the second best quarterback in the 2024 class, and I just don't think that's the case. I'd probably take Michael Penix over him. I think by the end of this year, I would take J.J. McCarthy over him.
No, I think
Let's not act like J.J. McCarthy lit the world on fire.
I think J.J.
solid.
McCarthy. I would dare to say that was a fluke.
You think it was a fluke?
I don't think he played that well.
I don't think he did play that well either.
I mean, he did leave the game-winning drive.
Yeah, sure.
Like,
You're letting the last drive of the game
No,
skew your thought. Like, before that, he was not playing.
I want to see him against the Falcons.
I guess he also has Justin Jefferson to bail him out, to be fair.
Yeah,
so.
but I don't know. He was good. I mean, it was a great show of character that he was able to bounce back. But I mean, sometimes you got to look at the full game statistics.
Yeah.
And the first 3 quarters was not pretty great because he was not. Granted, his offensive line could have been better, but he was also eating a lot of sacks. He was stepping into a lot.
Yeah, no, it just wasn't great. I've never thought he was that good. Like,
I mean, I don't think he's good either, but I think
He really hasn't lost. He hasn't lost. That he's really riding that undefeated. He hasn't lost since like high school.
yeah.
Wait, are you serious?
Well,
Yeah.
he went to IMG, so that doesn't really
He was
count.
undefeated in. Oh yeah, by the way, one of those wins is against
Bishop
Bishop Sycamore, dude. He was undefeated. I think all 4 years of high school, and then he was undefeated and won the Natty his freshman year at Michigan, and then he won this game.
Well, that'll probably end
Certainly
against
not
the
going to be certainly not going to be undefeated. Before we gotta talk about Caleb Williams in this segment.
Dreadful. He's not a good quarterback.
I'm
not a good football
I
player.
will die on the hill that they should have kept Justin Fields and drafted Marvin Harrison Jr. with their first overall pick. I will die on that hill. I knew Caleb Williams. People were overhyping Caleb Williams like he was going to be like the next like Tom Brady or like some like big thing. But imagine Justin Fields and Marvin Harrison Jr. and DJ Moore.
We got to watch the tape. Like, he wasn't that good at USC.
That's what I'm saying. Yes, thank you.
He was all hype. I felt like I was going crazy when I was
I
watching.
think-
He wasn't that good at USC.
I thought Jaden Daniels was better than
Yeah.
Caleb Williams before the draft.
Yeah, he was not insane at USC. Like, he
That's
was
what I'm
nothing.
saying.
He was nothing special.
He's playing the Pac-12. I mean,
Yeah, and not winning that many games in the Pac-12.
and he was like one of the most sacked quarterbacks.
Yeah. And we see it. He eats a lot of sacks. Also, like, I think there's no better like sequence that like sums up him with the Bears than when game on the line can score the winning touchdown, just absolutely misses a wide open DJ Moore on a throw that any NFL quarterback should be able to make. And then because he misses DJ Moore, the very next play, he gets lit up, throws DJ Moore a hospital pass, and DJ Moore gets crushed. Like, dude, like, what?
I think the Caleb Williams experiment's already failed.
Is there a reality? Like, what's the timeline on this Caleb Williams experiment?
Probably, at least this season, but
I think probably too.
another season. Like, at the end of the day, he's the first overall pick, and he's supposed to be great. He looked better towards the end of last year. Not good, but, like, better.
He's got a good head coach.
Yes.
He's got a good offense, and who saw.
He's got crazy weapons. I mean,
Yeah.
He's in a really good situation. He's got a
Yeah.
good
Romeo
offensive
Doubs,
line.
He's got
He's
Luther
got good
Burden.
weapons.
He's got DJ
solid
Moore.
defense.
He's
He's got a good run.
He's got Loveland.
He's got Colson Loveland.
Yeah.
He's just a worse version of Brock Purdy. Literally, like Brock Purdy, the year they went to the Super Bowl, he had Deebo Samuel, who was good at the time. Brandon Ayuk was good.
Yeah.
George Kittle was good. Christian McCaffrey obviously was one
Good
of the
offensive
best
line. They got a great offensive line.
Good offensive line, one of the best defenses.
Good coach. Yeah.
It's just Brock Purdy.
Well, we saw that Caleb Williams with the script was amazing. Like the first 15 plays, it was great. Lights out. When he had to go and kind of manage the game on his own, atrocious.
He's got to do better of getting the ball out of his hand. Like he just holds on to the ball, he runs around. It's the same thing with Shedeur. Like they both just they love to just run around and try and make plays, but you got to realize that if it's not there, it's just not there. And you just got to get rid of it.
In college, you can kind of get away with you can kind of get away with that a lot more. You know, and I think that really plagues. A lot of these quarterbacks. Again, that's why I think they need to maybe learn. But I'm kind of surprised he hasn't ironed out more of the kinks, like going into the year.
It just looks like he hasn't gotten better at all.
No, I know, which is crazy. Like, I
think the experiment's already failed.
Really?
I think if the Bears don't have an over 500 record, then I definitely think the experiment's over.
Yeah.
Because with all this hype around you, you can't go into a situation. Obviously, okay, last year we'll give you some slack because your offensive line was horrible. Now you actually upgrade the offensive line, and your defense got a little better. There's really no excuse to not perform, you know?
No excuse.
And you got DJ Moore. DJ Moore is a solid wide receiver. I don't know if we put him above Garrett Wilson, but we'll leave that behind. I would too, in some cases, but especially DJ Moore was frustrated last year and talking about how he's, not getting enough targets and enough catches, and he has a point with Caleb Williams, If you're DJ Moore, you're just like, okay, this guy's the number one pick. He's going to throw me the ball a lot. I'm going to get a lot of yards and receptions. And Caleb Williams struggled last year. And I think when it's all said and done, I think Caleb might be, the fourth best quarterback in this class, arguably. I think Bo Nix will finish better. I think Michael Penix will finish better. And I think Jaden Daniels will finish better. So I don't think J.J. McCarthy's going to finish better. That's where I will pump the brakes with the J.J. McCarthy.
So Bo Nix will be better, but J.J. McCarthy. So J.J. McCarthy is better than Bo Nix, which you said earlier. But
no, I think. Oh, you're
you
right.
did say that.
My bad. Okay,
Bo Nix is better for sure.
Yeah, my bad. I said based off of week 1, I think J.J.
Okay.
McCarthy looked better, but I think when it's all said and done, Bo Nix will be better. Sorry, I
think they're the same quarterback, J.J. McCarthy and Bo Nix.
Yeah,
No,
sorry, I
but
kind of worded that a little bit wrong.
I think Bo Nix is a little bit more of a game manager. I like Bo Nix. Again, though, sophomore slump incoming. Let's talk about, the Lions, man. I know the Packers are good, but I said and everyone said it's gonna be hard when you lose most of your coaching staff and you lose
the two best coordinators in football.
Yeah, but I didn't know it'd be that bad.
No,
they look lost.
Yeah. I think the Lions finished third in the division this year
behind
the Vikings. Obviously, Packers gonna be first, and I think Vikings finish ahead of them.
Yeah.
If the Vikings can stay healthy and perform well, then yes, I think the Lions will finish third. Obviously, I think the Bears are going to finish fourth. There's no way the Lions finish worse than the Bears. I don't think.
No, the Bears suck.
Yeah, but the Lions are going to have some decisions to make, losing both your coordinators. At first, I thought, okay, the Lions may go from what they won, I think 13.
I think they won.
They won 15. Oh my gosh, they won 15-2 last year. I was thinking, okay,
Yeah.
maybe instead of 15 games, they'll maybe win 10 or 11. They should be thankful if they finish over 500.
No, it'll be a 9. Yeah, it'll be a 9-win team. I bet.
They're 9-8.
I think we're heavily overreacting to one game. I think they'll be fine.
But losing Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn is, I feel like, worse than people are anticipating. I think it's really, really bad. Obviously, it's bad to lose both the coordinators, but not every offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator is like Ben Johnson and Aaron Glenn, Eventually that's going to take a toll on your team, and I'm just blank. I don't even know how to describe the Lions season. I think it's just they're gonna really, really fall off this year.
I think it's a good prediction to have them as the third best team in the NFC. What is it, North? But I don't think they'll be bad. I think 10 wins. They have the offense is still the offense. They have the threat, the weapons. They just need to put it together because I just don't think anyone played well necessarily in that last game. So, or in their first game, I would say.
I mean, they had the 13 points.
Yeah, they just didn't play. They just didn't play well. It is what it is. Sometimes you'll have a bad day. They're not the Lions from last year, and Dan Campbell said that. You have a window. Sometimes you miss it. You lose both your coordinators in the same year is not great. But you got to deal. I think Dan Campbell's a very good coach or head coach. I think he's kind of exactly what you want as a head coach when you have great coordinators. So he just needs to find more great coordinators, I guess. But I don't think there's anything wrong with being a 10, 11 win football team.
Yeah. I mean,
hell, the Giants and the Jets would love 10 wins.
They would kill for that. One last thing before we kind of wrap this up a little bit. Let's talk about the craziest game. Bills-Ravens was nuts.
Ravens should have won that game. There was no excuse.
The Ravens threw that football game.
They quite literally fumbled the game.
Should have gone for it on 4th down.
No, the Ravens probably still have PTSD from going for it on 4th down too many times and not succeeding.
It doesn't matter. I'd rather put the game in my hands, my team's hands. You know what I'm saying?
I mean, you left them way too much time. You left Josh Allen. What was it? It was like a minute.
It was more than that.
It was like a minute 10 or something, right? It was like a minute 15.
I thought they were gonna. Bills were gonna come back and choke though, because I was telling my roommate, I'm like, Josh Allen is an expert at coming back in the most insane way, but still just getting the most soul-crushing loss.
No, that was Tyler Bass's fault last year for not making the field goal.
Yeah,
that's you can't miss the field goal in that situation.
That old man Matt Prater now.
40 demon.
40-year-old Matt Prater,
who got the call on Thursday night, flew in. He was so old, some of his teammates thought he was their coach. They said,
"Yeah, he's part of the coaching staff, maybe."
Yeah,
you see him get picked up after the game. That was funny.
It was a crazy performance. Lamar looked amazing. Derrick Henry had an insane performance. It's just a fumble.
Sold at the end.
Yeah. I do think though, if you run that back in a playoff scenario, I think the Ravens probably win. I think the Ravens are the best team in the league. I also think the Ravens.
Oh, you just said the Chargers were the best.
You just said the Chargers were the
best.
No,
I said they were the. Oh, I guess the regular season. Regular season I'll stand by. In the playoffs though, I said we can go either way. I think the Ravens. Yeah, maybe I'll reverse my Chargers thing. I think the Ravens are the best. The Ravens are the best.
I think that's more.
Yeah, I also think the Ravens might go out there. If I'm the Ravens, dude, just go get Tyreek Hill.
Someone's gonna go trade for Tyreek Hill because
probably the Chiefs.
That'd be cool.
You think he reunites?
Yeah,
I think it's possible.
That'd be cool. We'll see some cool Patrick Mahomes.
They're gonna need a wide receiver after
Yeah, no, I think, but I don't know. I think he would be. What do you do as a defense if you imagine an RPO where it's either Lamar can carry it, you give it to Derrick Henry, or you pass to Tyreek Hill. As a defensive coordinator, actually, what are you supposed to do in that situation?
You pray.
Yeah, seriously. They
say prayer.
They're they're one trade away from just creating the most insane trio we've ever seen.
You think Tyreek Hill makes it to the trade deadline or you think he gets traded?
I think he's traded next month. By the end of next month, he's gone.
It depends.
Yeah, I think he goes. I think the. They had a players only.
McDonald gets fired though. Maybe not.
You don't trade it at all, or?
Yeah, because maybe if they got a new maybe if they got a new coach.
You think Tua's still the starter by the end of the season?
Will he even be healthy by the end of the season?
Their backup is what's his name?
Is it still Skylar Thompson?
No, it's
Well, Quinn Ewers is on the team, but he's the third string quarterback.
Yeah, but
Zach Wilson.
Yeah, it's Zach Wilson.
Give Quinn Ewers some reps, honestly.
I think so as well.
But yeah,
I thought you guys were against giving rookie QBs.
Well, he's a sophomore QB now.
No, Quinn Ewers is a rookie, but
I thought he was. Oh yeah,
no, he's a rookie.
He's a rookie.
Well, but at this point,
I guess when you're the Dolphins, I guess
Yeah.
really.
Like, I don't think he's their answer, but like I'm talking, but like at this point, it couldn't hurt. It couldn't hurt. You know what I'm saying? Like they look atrocious. They got smoked by Daniel Jones, who just went nuclear, like crazy.
He had his best performance of his career. The first game as a Colt.
Looked like Peyton Manning. I mean, that's just a sad one if you're the Dolphins. Like,
Yeah.
Tua looks lost.
Tua's he's got to hang him up, man. Just hang him up.
Yeah, seriously.
He's had too many injuries to where you can't keep playing. Like you're putting your health in danger.
He can't throw the ball anymore.
He can't read a he can't read a like
Can't
defense.
read probably.
Yeah. Honestly, seriously it's gone to the point where it's just sad. Like actually, I was watching that game. I'm like, ooh, this is just bad. This is bad.
No, he this Dolphins team's gonna suck this year.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. They got to get a quarterback. Tua can't be your quarterback anymore. He's just not.
Arch, if he goes,
Arch isn't going this year.
He's not going.
he'll go with the Saints.
No, he won't.
No, the first.
Yeah.
I hope not. I hope he doesn't. I don't want him.
I mean, yeah. I'm almost at a loss for words just because of how bad they were. But other than that, I mean, kickers were horrible this week.
Kickers were horrible.
Really bad week for kickers.
Really bad week.
Really bad. Yeah, Jake Moody got cut.
Signed with the Bears, I think, right?
So he did. He signed
Bears
with the
practice
Bears.
squad. Yeah, well, because their kickers sucked too.
Yeah, but so did their whole team. So to be fair,
You can't be missing these. Can't be missing these kicks.
if you are an NFL kicker in this day and age, and you're missing like 40 yarders and in, really 45 yards and in,
Yeah.
it just can't happen.
Well, yesterday, Commanders doink one off the upright, or no, Commanders miss one left. Then the Packers doink one off the right upright, and then the very next kick after that, Commanders doink one off the right upright. It's like, what are we doing? Like 3 missed kicks in a row. It's crazy. And they NFL said they had like more kicker friendly balls this year too. I don't know what's going on. As a coach, you can tell. Like I feel like the coaches have really had enough this year already.
With kickers.
Yeah, it's bad. It is bad. LaFleur looked so mad.
Yeah.
Yeah, like yesterday. But LaFleur always looks mad. LaFleur's funny to watch.
He's an angry man.
He is an angry man. Angry. He needs to relax. He's got the best. He's got one of the best teams in the league. I guess last night also Texans look awful because they have no O-line.
They really don't.
They really don't. Nope. They got nothing. Sad. Very sad.
Sad football.
Panthers also, man. Bryce Young, hang him up, dude.
Ugh, yeah. Traded all that for Bryce Young. He's might be worse than Caleb Williams.
No, come on. No.
I think I'd rather have Caleb Williams than
Yeah,
Bryce
me too.
than Bryce Young.
No.
Yes.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
Caleb Williams at least shown that he can like.
At least he has some highs.
Bryce
Like,
Young is Bryce
Bryce Young
had,
for like a 5-week stretch last
he
year.
had one
was
good
elite.
game against the Giants. Any quarter, I can
He
go
can't-
out
He
and
can't
have a
see
better.
over his O-line. He can't see over his O-line.
Neither can Kyler Murray.
Yeah, Kyler Murray
But
sucks.
Kyler Murray's also fast.
Yeah, Kyler Murray sucks. I hate Kyler Murray. All right, that'll wrap up our week 1 talk. When we come back, we'll get into, I know, probably Barrett's favorite segment we got coming up. We're going to be talking all things college football. We'll have you with that right after the break.
Want to be part of the Ramley? It all starts here. I'm Nathan Rogers.
And I'm Kate Cox, and we are 2 of your hosts for On the Hill, WFUV's exclusive podcast for all things Fordham athletics.
From the field of Moglia Stadium to the hardwood of the historic Rose Hill Gym, we've got you covered with the ins and outs of Fordham sports.
Every week, every play, every round. Tune in weekly wherever you get your podcasts. This is On the Hill.
Hey
everyone, it's Lydia Perner.
And Grace McCarran.
And we are two of your hosts for 5 on 3.
WFUV's best, if only, hockey podcast.
With all the storylines in the tri-state area, you won't want to miss an episode.
How will Matthew Schaefer fit in with the Islanders?
And will the Rangers have a bounce-back season under Mike Sullivan?
Finally, will the Devils be able to stay healthy and hit their full potential?
Stick with us all season for all things NHL and Will Cooley updates on WFUV Sports.
Hey everyone, I'm Alex Diaz.
And I'm Mary Hannah Gallagher.
And we're the hosts of All In, a women's sports podcast.
On All In, we discuss everything women's sports, from the WNBA, the AUSL, and NWSL.
No matter the sport, we have you covered.
You can catch us on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, or anywhere else you get your podcasts.
All In is a production of WFUV Sports.
Welcome back into One-on-One. We are going to be talking about some college football. Week 3 now of the college slate. I think for a lot of conferences, kind of been what we like par for the course, what people were expecting. For others, maybe a lot of surprises, some controversy in the AP polls. But Barrett, I'm going to let you take this one. What's been your takeaway so far, and what are you looking forward to this week?
I mean, we've had a great season so far. A lot of really, really great games, especially from last weekend was incredible. And I was saying it myself going into the weekend, I didn't think it was a great slate. This weekend, we have an absolutely incredible slate. I mean, Georgia Tech Clemson's on right now, 13-7. You know, Wisconsin, Alabama is 21-0. Alabama, I think, took that loss week 1 personally. Ty Simpson is absolutely balling out. Bryce Underwood's having a bounce-back game this week. Just a lot of really good games. You've got Texas A&M versus Notre Dame later at 7:30. You've got Tennessee versus Georgia at 3:30. You've got Florida versus LSU at 7:30.
I'm excited for that one for sure.
Lot of great games. You've got Miami versus USF at 4:30.
That's probably the big one.
That's the Notre Dame. Notre Dame, Texas A&M, Georgia, Tennessee, and then Miami versus USF are 3 absolutely massive ranked games in week 3 of the season.
Let's talk about USF because they beat Boise State and then they beat Florida, but they're still only 18th in the AP polls, and a lot of people are saying that they should be higher. Obviously, you have Notre Dame at 8, who's 0-1, coming off of a bye. They didn't move, and actually I saw one voter moved them up for some reason. I don't know. I feel like the AP poll has kind of lost a little bit of credibility in recent years. I think, unfortunately, though, that is the reality for smaller programs, is that you have to, I think if they win this one, they'll be a top 10 team, or they should be. But that's the unfortunate reality of these things, is that you have to win those games. You have to win so much that it almost becomes undeniable that the AP poll kind of gives you the short straw.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm going to be a bit of an SEC fanboy here in that I think because of how college football is now and how conferences are now, it should be like that in a way, just because with the transfer portal, with conference realignment, now more than ever, the Power 4 conferences are so loaded with talent, and that to be a Group of 5 conference or a group of 5 team, it's just you're gonna have to win more naturally. You don't, and so I don't have a problem with them being ranked 18th. Personally, I have them ranked somewhere around 14 on the WFUV Consensus Top 25 poll. Check it out on our Instagram.
Yep.
Great stuff. We got a panel of experts for college football. We know ball more than the AP poll. Guarantee it. At least I do. I guarantee I know more ball than 95% of AP poll voters. But anyways, I don't have an issue with USF being 18. If they win this week, I think it's hard not to have them as a top 7, 8 team in the country. Just because at a certain point, you got to stop ranking off of preseason expectations, team talent, and you have to go off what they've seen on the field. And they have arguably the biggest win of the season so far in beating Florida. I could argue that Baylor's win over SMU last week was a bigger win. Incredible game. I don't know if you saw that, if you watched that game. Incredible game in overtime, Baylor versus SMU last week. But back to USF. Massive win against the Group of 5 representative in the playoff a year ago in Boise State. Just ran them off the field, dominated them. A lot of people were, retroactively giving Ashton Jeanty the Heisman because of how bad that game was for Boise State. And then came in, really were in control of the game the whole way against Florida. So if they come out and they do the same thing against Miami this week, look out. Like this is a legit Group of 5 team that could. I mean, they're fighting for a legitimate top 5 ranking. There are a couple other teams in the American that I really like, but it's a great story to be this early, and the biggest story really of the season is a Group of 5 team in this era of college football, which is very awesome to see.
Yeah, no, I think it's exciting. I think the SEC is wide open this year.
And Ty Simpson throws a pretty football. I know they lost week 1, and this has nothing to do with USF. I'm just looking at highlights right now. Ty Simpson, I've been saying this for a couple weeks. He throws the ball so pretty. It's beautiful. Like, a lot of people say Drew Aller throws a nice football, but the way Ty Simpson throws the ball gets me going.
I'm going to talk about Oregon really quick. Oregon up 17-0 Northwest half against Northwestern, a little bit of a slow start, but they absolutely dismantled Oklahoma State. I think I was talking a little bit with Barrett before this episode, and I think Oregon was kind of not. They were good. They were really good last year. They were just a little over. I think they were still slightly overrated or overhyped.
Yeah, slightly.
But I think this team is better than the team last year. I think this team is what the team people thought the team last year was gonna be, and I think that honestly it's kind of nice because I feel like honestly I feel like there isn't the same level of hype behind Oregon as there was last year, which I think is good. And I think, 2 touchdowns the first 3 plays, amazing. I think DeCorian Moore will be a top 5 pick in the NFL draft. Great wide receiver. Defense is great. I think Dante Moore is a good enough quarterback to win a national championship.
Yeah, that was the big question mark on this Oregon team, is what was Dante Moore going to be able to give you? And so far, he's been exactly what they needed. He's carried on the Bo Nix and the Dylan Gabriel legacy perfectly.
Yeah, I think, Oregon's had good QB luck, I feel like, in the last decade or so, honestly. And yeah, I think, the national championship, I think Oregon is the best program that has not won a national championship, and they need to get one. It's just, you got to start doing it. Oklahoma State's head coach made a joke about the NIL stuff. Like, Oregon has the best team money can buy, literally. They got like an unlimited NIL deal with Phil Knight. Oregon's got to go out there and do it. I'm excited to see them play at Penn State in the whiteout game coming up in like about a month, a little bit less than that. I think they have a shot of winning that game. I really like them to win that game. But it'll be interesting because their schedule's cake, like most of the Big Ten. It's like the opposite of the SEC.
It's kind of the Big Ten's kind of a joke.
The Big Ten has mastered their scheduling to maximize the amount of teams they get in this playoff era because of the way they do it. Like, they're the best teams almost never have to play each other. Like, obviously, Michigan and Ohio State always play. Obviously, one of those you're going to get. But they've essentially got it so that, Oregon, Penn State, Michigan, Ohio State, and then the fifth Big Ten team, whether that's Indiana, Illinois, Nebraska, whatever it is on any given year, you only really have to play one of those, maybe 2. but you're never going to have to run a gauntlet like the SEC where you have to play all of them.
Yeah.
Whereas like Florida, I don't know if you've seen this, but Florida's schedule over the next 6 weeks after they just lost to USF is insane. Like, this was a Florida team that a lot of people thought could be very, very good with DJ Lagway at the helm. But let me pull up Florida's schedule over the next couple weeks, because it is a gaunt. They could easily see themselves with 5 losses, 8 games into the season.
Yeah.
Like, it's let me pull this up real quick. Right? So they're 1-1. They started with Long Island, whatever. They get upset by USF. And now, really for the rest of the season, let me read this out. They play at number 5 Miami.
It's a loss.
Or, sorry, they play at number 3 LSU tonight.
That's a loss.
Probably lose that.
Florida.
They play at number 5 Miami next week. Could be a loss. Versus number 7 Texas.
That's
at
a loss.
number 16 Texas A&M. Then they got Mississippi State, which that should be a win. But then they're versus Georgia. They have Ole Miss. They have Tennessee. So right now on their schedule, they already are 1-1. They have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. They have 8 ranked matchups to close out the season. 8 of their final.
Insane.
8 of their final.
They may not win a
10
single
games.
one of those.
I mean, as you said, the Big Ten. You look at the odds for who's going to make the playoffs, and the top 2 teams are Oregon and Ohio State, and it's like 80%, 70%, and it's because they'll never play anyone.
And it's not because I'm saying the Big Ten is that much like the SEC this year. There's so much talent; it's wide open. But even in the Big Ten, right? You have this year. You've got Ohio State, Oregon, Penn State, Michigan is decent. You've got Illinois, who's actually very good. You've got Indiana's decent. You got Nebraska's decent. Even Wisconsin's like okay.
Yeah.
But it's not because the Big Ten is so much worse. It's just because the way they schedule, the big dogs in the Big Ten don't have to play that many teams, difficult schedules.
They play one good
Northwestern, they play Iowa, they play they play
play
Purdue, they play Rutgers, they play USC, they play UCLA.
They'll play a big dog like once, and then but one loss to a good team is good enough to get you into a.
Yeah, exactly.
Especially with the 12 team.
Yeah, you're not worried about losing one game. If you're an 11-1 Big Ten team, SEC team, ACC team,
you'll make the playoffs.
I won't say a Big 12 team. You probably 11-1 Big 12 team probably makes the playoffs.
If they win the Big 12. I think an 11-1 team that doesn't win the Big 10 will still be in the playoffs.
Oh, 100 again. If you have one loss, well, you're probably not going to be 11-1 and not win the Big 10 because you're probably either 11-2 or 12-1 at that point. But not really that important.
But I don't think you should count like a big the conference championship loss should not even honestly go next.
Big loss for Oklahoma though, as we talk about it. Keontae Lewis goes down, so that's not great.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. I mean, I think with the expanded playoff format, it'll be. I am curious. I know that with the way the SEC schedule has lined up, there will be some unhappy teams in the SEC when it comes time for.
It'll be Florida. Florida may not win a single one of those ranked games, possibly.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, even the teams.
I'll just say for the WFUV poll, our Week 0 poll coming into the season, we had 11 SEC teams ranked out of 16. 11 out of 16 SEC teams are ranked.
It's like college
and
basketball.
Auburn wasn't even ranked.
Yeah.
So
it just goes to show how good the SEC is.
Yeah.
Pretty.
I like LSU. I think LSU is my favorite to win the SEC right now.
I would second that. I'm not mad at that.
I think Georgia's probably my favorite, but
I'd say Georgia's probably number 2 for me.
I just like LSU.
Yeah.
I don't. But that's bias in me. So
yeah, I got a soft spot for LSU.
I don't. I hate everything about it. Terrible.
Well,
school,
Texas.
Terrible.
What
program.
are we thinking about Texas?
I hate them too.
I know, but what are we thinking about Texas?
I don't think much about them. So okay, I'll give you my expert analysis here on Texas. Is that the thing with Texas is Arch Manning is not the quarterback they need for this team right now. Arch Manning is
certainly a quarterback.
He's fine. I think Arch Manning is going to be the number 1 overall pick in 2 years, right? Or 2 years. That's when the 2027 NFL draft is. I think he'll be the number 1 overall pick. I don't think he comes out this year. And a big reason for that is I don't think there should the expectation that Arch Manning was the Heisman favorite, was going to win the Heisman, Texas was going to win a national title. Just completely outlandish, right? He's I think before the season had 2 college football starts, and they were against UTSA and maybe Mississippi State. Like those are two bad teams last year, and he played well enough. In one of those games, I think he still threw 2 interceptions, right? But what I'm trying to say is if Arch Manning is an average quarterback this year, if he is right on the average, and Texas is, an average SEC team this year, you shouldn't be upset about that. You should actually be, with the way the SEC is this year, you should be very happy if Arch Manning's an average quarterback and shows flashes. But because of the way they were built up, because of how high they were ranked and how everyone was getting on the Arch Manning hype train and getting behind him, now if they go 9-3 and Arch Manning is an average quarterback, it's looked as a failure. When I think 9-3 in the SEC is still a very good season. 9-3 in the SEC. If Texas goes 9-3 in the SEC, or say 10-3, and they go to the national or the SEC championship game and lose in the SEC championship game, and they're 10-3, there's gonna be a push for them to make the playoff. There's gonna be people who are saying they should make the playoff, and that's what you have to realize is the SEC is whether that's a media thing, whether that's an actual talent thing. In reality, it's a mix of both, right? Yeah. The SEC is the most talented conference in top to bottom. It's the most talented conference in college football. There's no arguing that. I don't care what team you're a fan of, what school you're a fan of, what conference you're a fan of, where you're from. The SEC is the most talented conference in college football. But that's not to say that the media hype behind it and the media train behind it hasn't built it up to this mythical status that it maybe necessarily doesn't have, right? And so if you go 9-3, this season for Texas shouldn't be necessarily looked at as a failure, but because of the hype that they had coming into the season, it will be.
I do have to ask you, do you think Texas goes 9-3? I mean,
I do.
So you think they lose to? I assume you think they lose to Georgia. And
let me pull up their schedule while we're here.
So right now they have UTEP today.
They got UTEP. Yeah, they'll destroy UTEP. UTEP's not.
I'll just go over who they play the ranked opponents. They got Oklahoma next month on the road. You think that's a win for Texas or?
No, that's a home game for that Oklahoma game's home.
Yeah, I mean home for Oklahoma. I think they win that one.
That'll be a really good test. I think the thing is, the best thing for UT here is the fact that they play relatively speaking, a very easy schedule. Right? They get to play Kentucky. Their road SEC games are Kentucky, Mississippi State, and potentially a 4-loss Florida team. Right? Like Florida could turn around. They could be great, and they could kind of run the table from here on out. But, they play them in week 5. That's potentially a 3-loss Florida team that we're looking at by the time they play. So Florida could kind of be looking at their season as, relatively speaking, over at that point already. Then they play at Kentucky. They play at Mississippi State. Those are probably the 2 worst teams in the SEC, right?
Those are winnable.
But we just saw Ole Miss struggle with Kentucky, relatively speaking. Mississippi State just off Arizona State, right? So even those bottom SEC teams are having much better seasons. Vandy is a much improved team that a lot of people might think they should be ranked. Vandy could have a very good season. They play at Georgia, which could be a struggle.
I think Georgia wins that game probably.
Mm-hmm. They then have 2 rivalry games against Arkansas and Texas A&M as well as that. So the 3 rivalry games of Oklahoma, Arkansas, and Texas A&M are obviously, as their rivalry games, very losable. Rivalry games can always go both ways. I think they'll probably take 2 or 3. So I'm now looking at a 10-2 Texas team. But either way, a lot of people will think that's a failure of a season. I don't.
I think it's 9-3. I think they already have their 1 loss. I think they lose to Georgia, and I think they either lose to Arkansas, Vanderbilt, or Texas A&M. They lose one of those games. I think.
I mean, the homer in me says they lose to Texas A&M.
I think
I'm just conservatively picking against Texas A&M in every game they play in, so that either I'm really happy or I'm right.
I think
I'm hedging myself there.
I think one of those 3 rivalry games, they probably drop one of those, and then they'll obviously lose the Georgia game. I don't think they beat Georgia.
No, I don't think so either. But again, all that is to say that if they don't win a national title, it's kind of going to be looked at as a failure of a season because of the preseason hype. But I don't think it should be looked at that way. I think you should take it in stride and be very happy if Arch Manning progresses throughout the season. Then But Texas people are all idiots, so they don't really know anything, and
Yeah.
whatever.
We'll see. We'll see. Time will tell, but that'll wrap up our college football segment. We got one more segment after this before the show is done. It's a fun one. We'll do a little draft here of our personal funniest sports moments. So we'll have you back with that right after this.
I'm Isabella Terracini.
And I'm Barrett Spritzer. We're two of your hosts for College Gridiron, the exclusive home for all things college football on WFUV Sports.
Join us as we break down the biggest matchups of the week, Heisman hopefuls, and college football playoff previews.
Listen in on Spotify, Apple Music, or wherever you listen to your podcasts.
Welcome back to the final segment here on One. It is going to be a funniest sports moments draft. So how it's going to work is we'll go around in a circle. We can do snakes, so you can go second. We'll loop back around to me. But just a sports moment that you found hilarious. I'll start. We'll do 3 of them. We'll do 3 picks. My first pick is from, it's just called The Play. I'm sure you guys are familiar. Cal versus Stanford. The band, otherwise known as The Band is on the Field. And when the Stanford band thought the game was over and went on the field. But that in itself is not the funny part. I think that's a cool moment. The funny part to me is that after the running back scores the touchdown, he could stop running. He could dodge the band members. He could walk away. In the end zone, he jumps like this directly into some guy playing an instrument. For no reason whatsoever. Just absolutely decks a Stanford band member.
He was just happy he scored the touchdown.
He had no need to do that. It's hilarious. It's so funny. So funny. I don't understand what he was doing. All right, Barry, you want to go?
Yeah, I'll go. I will say that my funniest, is going to be that Patriots-Raiders game from a few years ago. The ending to that.
Yeah.
When, I couldn't even tell you what's going through anyone on the field's brain there. But, I guess it's, tie game. Raiders are in prevent defense. And for whatever reason, they decide to throw a lateral all the way across the field to nobody.
To Mac Jones.
And Mac Jones doesn't even Mac Jones is trying to catch the lateral and just gets lit up, and the Raiders recover it and take it for a touchdown, and they lose to win the game, and just completely unnecessary. Tied game in December, and it was just one of the dumbest things you'll ever see on a football field, and it's very fitting that it just happened to Mac Jones. So that's mine.
I'd say for me, I got to go with the double doink. Someone has to pick the
man.
double doink because it's 2018 NFC wildcard game, and Cody Parker's the Bears kicker. He misses the first field goal, but they call a timeout. And so, he's kind of the iced kicker, and then he goes out there again and misses it the second time, and obviously Chris Collinsworth, a very iconic, missed on a double doink. I just found that incredibly funny. It's more funny the fact that he missed it the second time than the actual call, just because obviously you're a kicker. You're supposed to, as you said earlier, Barrett, anything within 40 to 45 yards, your job is to make those kicks, and obviously the double doink has become a pretty iconic meme, so that's my number 1 pick. And I have the back-to-back, right?
Yeah, you have the back-to-back.
I'll just choose the obvious one, the Jim Marshall running the wrong way.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Jim Marshall is running the wrong way. So this was, for context, this was October 25th, 1964, where Jim Marshall runs the wrong way, and then when he gets into the end zone, he tosses the ball into the crowd thinking he just scored a touchdown, but he ran into the wrong end zone. So someone had to choose both of those, and why not? I'll take them.
All right, I'll come back here, and my pick will just be the first 3 weeks of last season for Will Levis. Just everything he did on the football field for the first 3 weeks.
There are so many
last
funny
season.
stills.
All of the surrender cobra, him basically being floating perfectly horizontal, just everything he did. Really, just Will Levis in general. The Mayo commercials, just everything surrounding the first 3 weeks of Will Levis's 2024 season.
Yeah. I'm going to go with James Harden closing out Kawhi, like defending Kawhi this season in the corner three, where he literally passes it out to Kawhi for a three, and then he, for some reason, decides to go like this and literally defend him for no reason. It's his teammate. Like, what are we doing? That's hilarious. For my final pick, though, I think I'm going to go butt fumble.
Yeah, that had to be picked.
That's a good one.
Yeah, butt fumble is just so funny. It's just the perfect, just like, it's the most Jets play of
It
all
just
time.
summarizes Mark Sanchez's entire career. Like, when
No,
you
it's
think of Mark
hilarious.
Sanchez, you don't think about him commentating. You just think of him, like, the butt fumble. Like,
Yeah, no, it's hilarious.
All right, Barrett, what you got?
Oh, I got a couple. I'll give a couple honorable mentions
Got
first.
it.
Well, no, I'll save that till after in case Bradley wants to have one of them. But I'm gonna go with last season Miami. All they got to do is kneel the football down to win the game. All they have to do. Mario Cristobal comes out after the game, says he doesn't believe in victory formation. Essentially, what happens is, or no, this was 2 years ago. All they got to do is kneel down to win the game. There's like 30 seconds left in the game. They run the ball, they fumble, gets taken back for a touchdown, and they lose. And I think they ended up going like 6-6 that year. But just all-time stupid moment of they were up by 6 points. All you have to do is kneel down the football, and for whatever reason, they decide to run the ball, they fumble, and it gets taken back.
And for my last pick, I was torn between two. I was torn between the Randy Johnson Dovids, where in spring training he threw a fastball and it hit a dove, and the dove exploded in the middle of the field. But I'm gonna go with Matt Hasselbeck's guarantee. Back in 2003, it was the Packers and Seahawks in a wild card game, and for overtime, Matt Hasselbeck was like, "We're gonna get the ball, we're gonna score."
Don't
And then
talk about that, dude.
I'm sorry, I had to choose it. And then the first play of the game was a pick six. I'm sorry, I
Yeah.
had to pick that one.
No, that's
I had to.
hilarious.
That's just like, when you think of Matt Hasselbeck, you just think of, like, we're going to get the ball, we're going to score, and then literally the first play. I'm sorry, Griffin, but I had to choose that one.
No, yeah, that's a hilarious. I'm trying to think of the LeBron J.R. Smith moment.
Oh,
Yeah,
a
that's
good
very
honor.
funny.
That's a great honorable
A
mention.
couple of my honorable mentions would be James Harden being like 100 pounds overweight to try and force himself to get traded to the Nets.
The Honey Bun Harden?
Yeah, like
Oh.
he's just warming up and he looks like he's 300 pounds, and then the next day after he gets traded, he all of a sudden is like 200 pounds again. I've got Elijah Moore in, I think it was 2019, in the Egg Bowl. I think it was a game-winning was supposed to be a game-winning touchdown that he scored. And he does a dog pee celebration, like he pretends to be a dog and pee on the goalpost. And he gets a flag, and then after the flag, the kicker missed the extra point, and they ended up losing the game.
Yeah.
Very funny. The Florida LSU game a couple years ago, when one of the players lost his shoe, and the Florida player picks it up and throws it, and then got a 15-yard penalty, and they lost that game because of it. The 40 million and £1 bid from Arsenal for Luis Suarez back in 2013. Very funny. That's like classic Arsene Wenger shenanigans. And then my last honorable mention would be on College Game Day 2 years ago. Pat McAfee in front of all the Georgia fans like sings this Georgia song and then goes, "Give me Alabama," gets booed by everyone. I think Kirby Smart was at the desk with him when he did it. Very funny.
Yeah.
So those are a couple of my honorable mentions.
I say my honorable mention was the River City Relay, where it was the Saints against Jacksonville. Remember, the Saints did that multilateral play. They scored, and then John Carney misses the extra point. I just think it's funny because they did all of that to try and tie the game, and they just missed the extra point to lose. That's why I thought that was funny. More of just them choking the game.
No,
Classic.
yeah.
Classic
I mean,
Saints.
yeah, there's a lot of the Michigan fans' reaction to the block kick score, where he's like holding his hand like this.
Oh yeah. Connor Stallions, just everything that went on with that.
Oh, yeah.
Very funny.
Oh yeah. Any Jameis Winston quote
Yeah, anything he's ever done. Eating the dubs, very funny.
Or James Harden throwing the ball into the ground. Josh Hart's just like.
Yeah. Or who was it that did the? Was it Hardaway who did the like safe sign at the Knicks game when the guy like slid?
Oh yeah. I think it was Tim Hardaway.
No, that was good. But that'll wrap up our show here today. It was a good one. We talked a little bit of baseball, a little bit of football, a lot of football actually, NFL and college football. Then ended off with a fun little draft. Behind the glass, I just want to give a big thanks to our video producer, Peter Brito, and then our radio producer, Derek Bullier. You guys were holding it down back there. Everything ran smoothly. Out here, hosting alongside me was Bradley Birne, Barrett Spritzer. I've been Griffin Stevenson. A huge shout out to our sports director here at WFUV Sports, Bobby Chaffardini. One on One is a production of WFUV Sports. 51 years, more to come.